Week 11, coast to coast here in the UFL. Starts off this evening in San Diego, California. Beautiful 70 degrees as the San Diego Wildcats host the Minnesota Chippers. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Daggs, and with me in the booth is the Hall of Famer, Eric Vincent, along with producer Cameron Irvine. You're watching the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. Mr. Vincent, how are you?
Mr. Daggs, I'm spectacular as always. Appreciate you. This is going to be a fun contest here. I mean, Western Conference battle. We're here in beautiful San Diego. I mean, the weather can't get any nicer than what's out there right now. And both these teams are starting to kind of find a little bit of edge, a little bit of juice towards the tail end of the season. And that's going to matter come playoff time.
Absolutely is. The San Diego Wildcats on the field right now, waiting to receive the opening kickoff. Minnesota kicks it away, and we are underway here in San Diego. Ball is taken out of the end zone. It is returned up the left-hand side to the 26-yard line. And the Corn King himself, quarterback Zach Holdorf, coming out onto the field to lead his team on offense. First down and 10 from the 26. Play action. Holdorf rolls down to the bottom, throws to the bottom. That one is complete for a big gain up to the 46-yard line.
And a good start in this offense here. Nice little rollout. Gives Holdorf some time. Obviously, he can tuck it and run ad nauseum. He is the second leading rusher on this team. Finds tight end Brady Davis. Just a nice soft hole in that zone from Minnesota. And an easy first down for the Wildcats right away.
Almost all the way up to midfield on the first play of the day for San Diego. 4-6 on the season, right there in the middle of the pack in the Great West Conference. A lot of teams struggling in that conference to start the season off. Pass down to the bottom. Holdorf now 2 for 2 on the day as that one goes to R.E. Mills. The tight end gets the catch, gets another first down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, you touched on it, Mike. The Great West, you got Dakota sitting at the top pretty comfortably at 9-1, and then the rest, well, it's a crapshoot. So playoff time's going to be interesting.
It sure is. First run of the day is another good one. As so far, San Diego can do no wrong as Price gets the first down.
Yeah, Payne Price, the leading rusher in the UFL, coming in to this week with over 1,200 yards rushing, averages just about 5 on the ground. And you can see why right there. I mean, great blocking up front, little nifty sidestep there towards the end. Net 17 on his initial carry.
A good run game taking pressure off of Zach Holdorf in the pass game. He's actually second from the bottom almost in passing yards, but hasn't really needed a whole lot of throwing this season as Price gets another nice carry. That one good for a gain of 6.
No, and that's a good point, Mike. I mean, in this offense with San Diego, I mean, you're going to get a lot of running the football, whether that's going to be Payne Price or Zach Holdorf. He's got over 800 yards rushing coming into this week himself.
Second down and 4 from the 21. Holdorf going to run with it himself right on cue. Nostradamus is Eric Vincent up to the 13-yard line. Another first down, San Diego.
And that's exactly what the Corn King likes to do. He will go ahead and just use his legs to pick up what he needs. And it's been a very smart drive for Holdorf here and a great one for the Wildcats overall.
Draw play, that one going absolutely nowhere as Price wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage, brought down by Frank Castle. And we'll take a look at that San Diego offense. You see the offensive line. We've talked about Holdorf and Price. Kyron Rucker is the wide receiver, number 3, and we saw R.E. Mills, the tight end, number 84, with a catch earlier on in this drive.
Yeah, and Kyron Rucker, he is diminutive in status, but certainly not in talent. Be sure to watch out for number 3.
Second down and 10. 4 on the play clock. Ball is handed off, and right on cue on. No, I thought we might have seen Rucker on that one, but no gain on that run as we see the starting defense for the Chippers. Couple guys keep an eye on. Joseph Alexis and Frank Castle on the defensive line.
Yeah, and those outside, those linebackers as a whole, I should say, are really, really good for the Chippers as well. Randy Tremaine, Champ Boyd, Markel Lewis, and Jerome Watts. Those are the 4 that you're going to see shipped in and out, along with Brennan Allen in the middle.
They're down at 10. Holdorf fires towards the end zone, and it is in for the touchdown. San Diego caps off an impressive opening drive with 6.
And much like the rest of the drive, I mean, Holdorf just sets his feet and firing, finds an open target, Sir Jefferson.
But when they did, they immediately bounced back, and, well, it looks like it's time for bingo, Eric, and I know that you have something that you've got to do right now.
It's a lovely little wee-woo.
There it is.
You'll get the hang of it, Mike.
It still scares me just a little bit, but, you know, okay. I'll get there.
They're varying degrees. You know, you could do a very subtle wee woo. You can do a very excited wee woo, and you can do like just kind of a standard wee woo.
Yeah, the excited one. That one made me shake a little bit. I don't know why. I don't know if I liked it. I don't even know what's happening. Minnesota, they're going to get the ball now. 13-7 is the first 2 bingo numbers off the board, as you need postage stamps this time around, Eric. You can get any of the block of 4 in any of the 4 corners. You don't need all 4, you just need 1, and they'll be associated with varying prizes, as Doug Falk completes his first pass of the ball game, but he's throwing it the wrong way. -3 on that one.
Yeah, certainly not a good start. But yes, pay attention, my lovely little addicts, okay? There are going to be 4 different corners, blocks of 4, and there's a special prize behind each of those little postage stamps in the corners of your bingo board. So be sure to pay attention to that. There may or may not be a zonk. I cannot attest to if that's true or not.
Listen for the wee woo. That'll be your cue to pay attention to the screen if you zoned out. 2nd down and 13. A handoff this time. Very minimal gain for Rob Noel. As we look at the offensive line and the rest of the offense for the Minnesota Chippers, you've got Doug Falk at quarterback, Rob Noel and Dalton Brown at halfback. Wide receiver is Tyler Falk, and then Michael Joseph is the tight end. 3rd down and 11. Is this drive going the polar opposite of San Diego's?
Yes, tough sledding initially here for Minnesota, and a 3rd and long here to prevent the 3 and out.
Falk on 3rd and 11, throws, gets first down yardage and more, completes that one to Tyler Falk, and gets it up to the 42-yard line.
And Tyler, he's going to be the main target here. Him along with the tight end Michael Joseph are the main go-getters in this offense. Falk will be the big play threat as he comes in averaging about 15 yards a catch and 2 touchdowns, and we see why right there. So he just works in the middle of the field, a little bit soft in coverage for the Wildcats, and an easy conversion for the Chippers.
726 yards on the season for Falk coming into tonight's contest, as that one goes down to Rob Noel. And we'll get a look at the San Diego defense now. On the defensive line, you have Ralph Leopold, linebackers Zach Cobb and Tyler Adams, the safeties Carver Clark and Ricky Tidwell. Zach Cobb, do you think Holdorf has ever tried to bite him, thinking he might be corn?
That's a valid question. We'll probably have to bring it up to the Corn King at some point in time or another, but I wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't either. 2nd and 8. Play action. Falk throws bottom and just overthrows his target. And another 3rd and long, the 2nd on this drive.
Yeah, and Minnesota, they look good there on that long conversion that they had on the previous 3rd down. And it's been a tough drive so far for the Chippers.
They're down and 8. Falk in the gun. Sends Brown into motion in the flats. Oh, Falk going deep down the left side. 1-on-1, and that one's incomplete. Tyler Falk basically had to play defense on that one. 4th down coming up.
And I think that was Carver Clark, the safety for the Wildcats. Him one-on-one coverage there with Tyler and did a really good job. I mean, he, as you said, Mike, he was actually out in front of that one. Tyler having to swat that one away at the last second. Yeah, right there. Great play by Tyler to prevent the turnover, even though it was probably going to be more of an arm punt anyway.
Minnesota, one of the teams in the Great West, their season starting off 3-7. thus far. You know, we talked about San Diego being 4-6. You also have Phoenix at 4-6, Salt Lake at 4-6, Minnesota right behind them at 3-7. So, you know, depending on what happens the rest of the way in the Great West, Minnesota still has a chance to be higher up in the standings in the conference, but they need to win games like this one where San Diego is one of the teams they're currently a game behind.
And they're definitely going to need Rob Noel's help to get themselves back in it, too.
Halldorf picking up right where he left off as that one's going down the sideline. R.E. Mills all the way to the house, 90 yards for the touchdown.
You know, I don't think I was familiar with R.E. Mills' game. I didn't think he had that kind of speed, but I mean, this is supposed to be like a little hitch route or maybe an out route. And where Halldorf threw it, it was just perfectly placed to where Mills was running. And there was just absolutely no one there to bring him down. Just turns on the jets and smokes everybody into the end zone. Longest pass of the season in the UFL, Mike.
Yeah, Zach Halldorf's previous longest pass was only 65 yards. That's still impressive, but 90 yards on one play. Cameron Duty had an 82-yard pass. BK Solberg with the previous long of 86. That one beating it by 4 yards. So 50-plus off the board and 14 off the board. Vincent, do your thing.
Wee woo.
So a 90-yard pass gets an average wee woo? See, yeah, that's what I don't understand.
It was a firm wee woo. It was a firm wee woo.
But why? What's the deciding factor?
I was mainly trying to be courteous towards my broadcast partner. My excited wee woo really just got you all over the place and got you jittery. So I was looking out for you.
The shakes. I appreciate that. But over 50 and 14 off the board, and this is not looking good for Minnesota at all. I mean, still early on in this contest, little over halfway through the first quarter, but San Diego on their first possession was a multi-play, just methodical drive. They were succeeding in the run, they were succeeding in the pass, they were just picking apart the Minnesota defense. Minnesota, meanwhile, ends up with a couple of 3rd and longs on their opening possession, end up having to punt it away. What does San Diego do? One play, 90 yards, they're up 14-0.
Yeah, and like I said, Minnesota, they fall into this one-dimensional offense is the problem, and that's due to Rob Noel just not getting the type of quality carries that they're looking from him. I mean, he's coming in averaging just under 3.5 yards a clip. That's just not going to do it.
Falk back out on the field for the Chippers, throws that one down to the bottom, and that one is broken up. Falk 2 of 5 for 18 yards, and Robert Henson in the chat saying, "Don't tell EK how to wee woo, Dags." I wasn't telling you how to do it. I'm trying to learn. Like I'm trying to learn. Like
trying to learn. That's all.
Yeah, I want to understand the process of what decides what. It was a nice run by Noel there. 3rd down and inches coming up. Minnesota needs to keep this drive going.
Yeah, and there's Rob Noel right on cue. Good run there. That's a solid run. Sets them up with a 3rd and manageable. They don't have to stress themselves too much. Playbook is open to convert this 3rd and short.
Ball is handed off. First down is picked up. Not by much, but enough, as Noel takes his 4th carry of the day for a first down.
And that's the luxury right there. You know, even if Noel is able to only get maybe a couple of yards, well, when you only need less than a yard, it ends up being just fine. But these type of situations are few and far between for Minnesota, as they've been forced to convert, even in this ballgame, they've been forced to convert 3rd and longs on their previous 2 possessions.
First down and 10. Ball is handed off to Michael Joseph using the tight end in a sweep, and it works for another first down.
Yeah, some good speed there for Joseph. Nice little shimmy shake to get himself some extra yardage. And again, these are the type of plays that Minnesota is just going to have to pull out of the playbook in order to get ahead of this impressive San Diego offense. And the Wildcats are just one of those teams where you look at them collectively, they've got a ton of talent, they put up a ton of numbers, and yet they're sitting where they are in the standings, and it just doesn't quite make sense.
First down and 10, 4 on the play clock as their player goes in motion. 1, they're going to get it off. No, flag on the play. It'll be a delay of game on Falk.
Yeah, and we've seen that happen so many times where you're trying to motion the halfback out of the backfield. You do it too late, and it's a 5 yards going back the other way. Those type of self-inflicting penalties are going to kill you in games like this.
They just can't afford it. Not with being down by 14 already and struggling here to even make it to midfield, let alone past it. Noel takes another handoff. That one goes for a gain of 2, second down and 13 as they pick up some of the penalty yardage.
Honestly, now you could go ahead and just work in some play action. We've seen Doug Falk kind of utilize that. He's not really a running threat from the quarterback position, but he does like to roll out.
Noel takes another handoff, runs right into the waiting arms of the defense, and only gain of 1, another third down and long.
It looked like Jacob Becker was able to get in and make that stop there. Looks like left guard wasn't able to get off and make the block.
Falk on 3rd and 12 has time in the pocket down the left sideline. That one is complete. Yeah, wow, he caught that one at 28. Moody with a great catch.
31-yard grab there, and just what an absolute dime from Doug Falk. I mean, just perfectly placed there for Isaiah Moody as he's just reaching out, gets the feed in, secures the catch, and they get deep into San Diego territory off that play.
They sure do, yeah. I mean, high risk, high reward on that one for the Chippers. Falk play action, rolls out top, throws up to the top. That one is complete, and receiver just could not get the afterburners going as LaBrice Rowland gets the catch only for 1.
Yeah, and on that play, I think Doug was just quick to get rid of the football, just went with his initial target there, which was the tight end, and just not a whole lot of room to operate.
Noel hit immediately as the defense fires right into the backfield, tackled for only a 1-yard gain.
And Hardaway is one of those guys that you're going to have to watch out for there on that line. By the way, still unclaimed is Alton Hardaway, number 79 there with the neck roll.
They're down to 9, and Falk was immediately under pressure as looks like a screen pass gone wrong, perhaps.
Again, that screen pass, I'm not sure what that was there because it was just free rush right down the middle, nothing there, and they'll have to settle for a lone field goal.
44-yard field goal straight down the middle. Morgan kicks this one up, and it is through. Minnesota putting their first points on the board, cutting into San Diego's lead.
And, hey, points are points here, Mike. You get 3 points on the board, more bingo numbers off the board. Wee woo! And, everyone's feeling a little bit happier, right? Minnesota's feeling a little bit more chipper, pardon the pun. And, San Diego, they go back to work. They're going to see how they can respond after Minnesota actually driving down the field, putting up some points on the board. Maybe Minnesota's defense actually getting some time to recoup and maybe look over the tablets and see what the pictures are saying. Maybe they can make some adjustments to the Wildcats offense.
Minnesota's had a really just rough go of it, not only this season, but in particular the past few weeks. Coming off of back-to-back losses, they lost while hosting the LA Aztecs, and then they were at the Dakota Rhinos, lost both of those by 3 and 9 respectively. The week before, they did beat Salt Lake, but it was only by 3 points, a very close game. Lost to Vegas the week before that, and even their one win they had against Dallas the week prior was an overtime win. So a lot of really close contests. If they win, it's not by a lot, and even when they lose, it's usually only by 1, maybe 2 scores at most.
Yeah, about 5 weeks in, they finally started to kind of find their stride a little bit, losing 4 straight. Then they came and got that win against Dallas, and then since then, like you said, Mike, it's been a lot of close contests. They just haven't been on the beneficial side of it.
1 quarter down, 3 to go from San Diego. It's nice and sunny here, and the Wildcats enjoying their home stadium and home crowd. They're up 14-3 over the Chippers. You're watching the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. I'm Mike Daggs. He's Eric Vinson, and we've got Cameron Irvine on production. Appreciate you joining us this evening for this one, as San Diego on offense goes and finds themselves another first down.
Yeah, they've been using Payne Price here primarily on this this opening drive for quarter number 2.
Play action for Holdorf. Decides to take off and run with it. Great speed and elusiveness for Holdorf. You talked about his run game, and he's already got 20 yards in tonight's contest on only 2 carries.
Yeah, and we talked about these linebackers for the Chippers. Very stout linebackers, but they're going to have their hands full with the Corn King, and we saw it right there as Brennan Allen trying to get his wheels underneath him and catch up with the speedy Holdorf. Zach was able to pick up the first down long before Allen was ready to get to him.
First down and 10. Ball is handed off. Run up the middle for a gain of 7. Price now with 42 yards on the day.
Yeah, averaging 7 yards a carry, and that's just not going to do it. I mean, Minnesota's got to tighten up the run defense. Obviously, he's the UFL's leading rusher for a reason, but he's a key piece of the offensive game plan for the Wildcats.
Holdorf hands this one off again, and the defense swarms around the ball carrier this time, tackling Price 1 yard shy of the line to gain. A big third down for the Chippers. They need to get the ball back without allowing any more points.
Yeah, absolutely. And right here in no man's land is certainly where you need to make the stop.
First down picked up easily and more inside the 30-yard line, tackled at the 28. Price 57 yards now.
Yeah, the offensive line on that play for San Diego, I mean, they cleared out that space right in the A-gap, and I mean, I could have run through that. You could have run through that. My grandma could have run through that. I
don't know about me. Your grandma for sure. I don't run. Like, there could be imminent danger behind me, and I would just resign myself to defeat and be like, well, I had a good go of it, but this is clearly it. Holdorf throws over the middle, wide open target inside the 10-yard line. First down and goal. Connects with Rucker. And, man, Eric, I don't know. I don't think San Diego can do anything wrong tonight.
No, I mean, again, this offensive line just playing out of their minds. Minnesota sends the delayed blitz from the linebacker. It's picked up beautifully. And we all know if you send the blitzer, yeah, you're going to have someone open on the backside. And sure enough, that was Rucker on that play. Easy pitch and catch for the first and goal.
Set, ready, 18, Gator.
First down and goal from the 7.
Set, go.
Price up the middle. Thought he was actually going to make his way all the way in. Gains 5. Second and goal from the 2. Does Minnesota have a shot at even stopping this, Eric?
I mean, just given how San Diego has run the ball on this drive in particular, I'm going to say no, but we'll see. That was a big hit there on the backside there by the linebacker.
Holdorf hands this one off and tackled at the 1 yard line. McNeil with his first carry, giving Price a breather, but I would expect to see him back in here on this third down and goal.
Yeah, you had Watts with the tackle on the play before. Champ Boyd getting in there with the stop there. Now third and goal.
Ball is handed off and stuffed. They get the stop they needed. Fourth down and goal. They are going to still be able to kick a field goal here, Eric, but a huge, huge stop for the Chippers.
And that's Brennan Allen, a trifecta of talented linebackers that Minnesota has. And look at Allen's eyes. He just eyes the ball carrier, hones in on McNeil, makes the stop there. That was a key stand for this Minnesota defense.
Be about a 7-yard field goal, up and through. And San Diego reclaims their 14-point advantage here, now up 17-3.
Yeah, 2-score lead here for San Diego. Like I said, that was a key stop for Minnesota to really kind of keep themselves in this ball game. Had some success on the previous drive, able to kick a long field goal after their drive stalled out deep into San Diego territory. But, as I was kind of alluding to before San Diego got this possession, Minnesota did a little bit of a better job of the bending, don't break. Really gave up a ton of yards offensively on the ground, so they're going to have to go back to the drawing board on that one and see how they can combat this Wildcat offensive line.
An 18-yard field goal. Brings 18 and 17 now off the board, as the Chippers will get another crack at it. Joshua Durr in the chat saying that he wants to hear some corn. Well, I want to hear a corny joke from the Corn King, but I mean, Holdorf's not on the air, but you've got us. So, Eric, why did the Corn get promoted?
Ooh, that's a good question. Why?
Because he was outstanding in his field. Ba-dum.
Wee woo.
Yes. Pass up top is complete, as the Chippers find themselves still down by 14, but it could have ended up being a 3-score ball game if not for the defense doing their job. So now it's up to the offense. Can they cut this down to a 1-score game?
It was a good start there with the LeBreece rolling catch.
Falk rolls out to the bottom, throws bottom. Can he turn upfield? No, and we've seen that play a couple times now, Eric, and both times it only went for a very short gain. I like the play design, but I think the pass has to go just a little bit further out in front of the receiver.
Yeah, it's ball placement for sure, and that's on Doug Falk. He's going to have to get that fine-tuned.
They're down in 2. Ball is handed off. Can he get there? No, the Wildcats defense read that like a book, and Noel stopped for only a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, Tyler Adams did a very nice job on that play with filling the gap. He saw where the opening was going to be for Noel if he wanted to get free, and he just filled that gap. It's exactly what you want to see from any linebacker. I mean, just look at him shifting on over to that end gap, making sure that he gets contained and forces the 4th down.
What do you call corn that joins the Army?
Ooh, what?
Colonel.
Yeah, I probably should have seen that one coming.
I've got more. I've got a whole list.
Joshua Durr, you opened up a can of worms or a can of popcorn in this situation.
A can of corn, yeah. Come on, man, get with it. We've got a whole lot of broadcasts left, and I've got a whole lot of corn jokes.
Just wait until this game possibly gets out of hand. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited. Holdorf, speaking of corn, throws that one, and the receiver hit. R.E. Mills able to hold on to it, and no, he's not. No, ball was jarred loose. I was going to say that was a punishing hit by the defense. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, that was a good hit by Brennan Allen, and ended up jarring the football loose. Similar play design to the 90-yard touchdown catch and run.
Payne, wow, what a move. Payne Price able to only gain a single yard on that one, but it was a well-deserved yard.
He left Brennan Allen in the dust on that one. Going to have to check his ankles for some additional tape, but somehow the corner, Jerry Morton, was in the middle of the field to make that stop.
They're down in 9. Big opportunity for Minnesota here as Holdorf takes off, runs with it, gets the 1st down, and keeps the drive alive.
And that is where it is just so tough to defend a guy like Zach Holdorf. I mean, a 3rd and long, you know it's going to be a pass, but you're not really accounting for the wheels that Holdorf has, and he's just so quick with his decision-making. He will just take off and run with it. Gives him about maybe a 1.5 seconds. If he doesn't like anything, he takes off, and his speed is able to get him at least 10 yards. Randy Tremaine with the stop just had no shot at it.
1st down and 10, 4 minutes to go here in the 1st half. Player in motion. Gets set just in time. Holdorf hit and sacked. Brought down by Castle. 2nd down and 15.
Yeah, and that was a great job by Frank Castle, just working his way through the offensive line and able to get himself to the quarterback. Came into this game, had 9 tackles for loss, 7 sacks. That's his 8th one on the season there, and a great job there to prevent Holdorf from making any magic that time.
Defense doing everything that they can to try to slow down this San Diego offense. They've improved slowly throughout the game. See if they can actually force a punt at some point. And Price says absolutely not. We're going to keep on rumbling. You know, they had them backed up into, midway into their own side of the field, and now just like that, they're right up at midfield, Eric, with a fresh set of downs.
I mean, again, just the push that you're seeing from the Wildcats, big hefties up front. I mean, they are just really getting into the Chippers' front 4 and front 7 and just really clearing out that first and second level of the defense. Easy runs for Payne Price for 10+ yards.
All Doug Falk can do is watch from the sideline, waiting for his opportunity here. Holdorf throws down to the bottom. That one is complete to Price. Holdorf now 6 of 7, 156 yards on the day.
Yeah, Champ Boyd doing a good job getting out there in one-on-one coverage and making that stop. They sent a blitz on the opposite side. Did a really good job with making sure that he brought Price to the ground. And, I mean, this defense for Minnesota, they've given up 32 points combined the last 2 weeks, and here they are against the talented San Diego offense, and they might give up 4 straight scores. I mean, it is tough out there if you're Minnesota's defense.
Ball is handed off again, and I mean, the problem is they're not even getting to the ball carrier with McNeil getting a nice pickup that time. They're not even getting to the ball carrier until he's already gone 8 or 9 yards, and by that point, even if you do get the stop, it's just going to be second or third in 1 or 2.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw it right there on the replay. I mean, he could have gone a number of ways, McNeil could.
Yeah.
He bounced it to the outside. He could have bounced it off the hip of the right guard, or the left guard, excuse me, and had plenty of daylight there. So it's just all on the Wildcats' offensive line tonight where they're just able to clear space for the running backs.
What is Korn's favorite music style? Come on, Eric.
Pop?
Pop, there you go. Yes. So proud of you. That's why you're in the Hall of Fame. Well, you will be soon anyway. You got a couple months. Aldorf up top, wide open, and misses his target. And that one just, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, just the timing was a little off on that one. Looked like he was going Jacoby Woods' direction, and he just wasn't ready for it.
2nd down and 10. It seems like, you know, even with a play like that, I don't think San Diego's breaking a sweat. Throws up top this time, gets it complete to R.E. Mills, but it's going to be a 3rd and medium. But no, I guess that was incomplete as well.
Okay. Yeah, I was with you. I thought he completed the catch, but I guess he dropped it in the midst of that tackle there. So now a 3rd and long. But again, the way that San Diego's been running offensively, I'm pretty confident for him on this one.
Aldorf looks, he has got a running lane, but he decides to throw hit as he throws, and that one's incomplete. And I think we might actually see the first San Diego punt as Jimmy Smith is trotting out onto the field for the Wildcats.
That was one of the rare times. I mean, that was a head scratcher there. That is pure Holdorf run time. Yeah, for any other play, for whatever reason, he decides to just hold on to it and gets his arm hit as he's throwing it.
Punt is going to drop down in the end zone, so that one will be a touchback. And Minnesota, even though they've struggled and San Diego's looked pretty great, they still have a shot at getting this one back down to a 1-score ball game on this one.
Yeah, I mean, you run your 2-minute offense, you got all 3 timeouts to work with. It's a 1-score game, and you get the ball to start the second half.
Ball completes that one over the middle, picks up 8. They do have to kind of hurry, though, Eric. 1:14, clock is rolling. They do have all 3 timeouts.
Yeah, and this Minnesota offense is not that they don't excel at really going with the hurry offense. So we'll see how this all turns out.
Falk trying to pick up some bigger yards, but makes a really questionable decision there as he throws it into triple coverage. I don't even think his receiver had a chance on that one.
Well, again, I mean, we talked about it, ball placement, and Doug Falk is just a little bit off tonight. Was looking the direction of Roland, but that was well short.
They're down at 2. Falk down to the bottom, and that one is incomplete, nearly picked off. He had Ricky Tidwell running forward on that one, Eric. If he had caught it, he was already at full sprint trying to head to the end zone. Watch this.
Oh, yeah, he read that one the entire way. Again, I'm not sure what's going on with Doug Falk tonight, but just a little bit off with his decision-making, with his ball placement. It's just been all over the place, and that's why Minnesota has only got 3 points here in the first half.
Eric, the Corn was arrested and charged with a crime. What crime was it?
Ooh.
Stalking.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
That's a thinker.
All right.
That's a
I got
thinker
there
right
on
there.
that one. All right.
I blame Joshua Durr.
You should. He asked for it. He got it.
Haldorf down the middle. Oh, and the Wildcats just keep on piling on the yards. They're not even the ones that need to score before the half, Eric. That's the sort of play that Minnesota needed.
Well, we saw our illustrious co-founder Cameron Irvine in the chat saying he's reevaluating his life. I'm sure that the Minnesota defense is feeling similarly right now.
More than likely, yeah. I mean, they can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. They've forced one punt. I mean, like I said, they have been slowly improving, but now on this drive, I don't know. Haldorf, 10, 15 yards before anyone's even in the vicinity.
Well, and the one time that they put a spy on Holdorf, that was where we saw he just stood in the pocket and he had to get rid of it, and it ended up being that punt that we saw, which ended up being nothing for Minnesota. But, you're probably going to have to put a lot of spies out there to make sure that Holdorf is not able to do that.
First down and 10 from the 12, 36 seconds to go, one timeout remaining. Haldorf looks, decides to run. That time the defense was ready for it. Looked like he might have almost even been spying him. Stephen Perry with the tackle.
Yeah, Stephen Perry did a good job with just disengaging there on his block at the exact right time and able to technically get a sack there on Holdorf. So one of the rare times that we're going to see Holdorf wrapped up in the backfield.
Still with some time to spare here. Even a field goal makes this a 3-score ball game. 15 seconds. Clock is rolling. One timeout remaining. Haldorf throws up top, throws it behind his receiver, and clock stops with 11 seconds to go. He'll be able to take one shot at the end zone here and still trot out the field goal unit if it doesn't work.
Yep, agreed. And they got that timeout in the back pocket as well, just in case they're tackled in the field of play here.
Haldorf from the 15 fires down to the bottom. That one's complete, but in the field of play, they'll have to burn their final timeout, and field goal unit coming out onto the field.
True, and it almost took a little bit too much time on that one. You're kind of watching it, thinking Holdorf's going to get rid of it. He's got to get rid of it. Eventually he did, and thankfully they had just enough time to call that timeout.
This one from 28 yards. Kick is up, kick is good, and now up by 17 points with 2 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, and there's that 3-possession lead now for San Diego, and more bingo numbers. We woo. Be sure to let us know if you're getting those postage stamps. We want to let you know, what kind of prizes you're getting, or if you're just getting a donkey with the one of us sitting on top of it.
Yeah, that would be a very terrible prize. But hey, I think now's the perfect opportunity to let everybody know, because it looks like Ellie Diomes is not here. So we'll keep this secret only from her. Do not share this information outside of this broadcast. UFLshop.com, stocked with the best tees, sweatshirts, flags, and more. Now ships internationally to 27 different countries around the world. A Printful partnership. It's UFL you can wear at UFLshop.com. That's YOUFLshop.com. Ellie will be excited, but she's not here, so she doesn't get to know.
Well, that deserves a wee-woo, though. Wee-woo!
Absolutely. Oh, I love it. That was the halftime wee-woo, brought to you by Eric Vincent. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain as we head to the half, and this one's been all San Diego. As you can see, the passing yards, rushing yards, average per play, the score, it's been San Diego all the way. Eric, your thoughts on the first half?
I mean, it has been San Diego all the way. That there is nothing else that really needs to be said. I mean, minus that 90-yard touchdown catch and run, which was just kind of a fluky play. It's all been on the offensive line here for the Wildcats. I mean, they are just getting all sorts of penetration up front, really pushing back these Minnesota chippers defensively, and it's been giving Payne Price a lot of lanes to run. And then in those situations where you need to make a big play, you got number 2 back there that's throwing the ball, and he can run it too, which we've seen several times here tonight. San Diego with a sizable lead. Minnesota will get the ball to start the second half, though.
Chippers trailing by 17. Doug Falk struggling on the day so far. Less than 50% completion, I believe. And a lot of it, like you've mentioned, Eric, has been the ball placement just seems to be rattled. I don't know if it's the San Diego crowd or what, but the thing that's most impressive to me about San Diego so far is, I mean, they're 4-6 on the season. You wouldn't think that it's a team that could just dominate, but I mean, in this one, it looks like they should be 9-1, 8-2. I mean, they're doing great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I touched on it a little bit. I mean, just through the course of their schedule, they just got a little snake bit. I mean, they've just been on the wrong side of some of these close games. They are certainly not a team that reflects their record.
Rob Noel starting things off with a handoff. He's only got 25 yards on the day, and they do need to get him more involved. But obviously here in the second half, down by 17, you kind of wonder what the halftime adjustments might be for Minnesota.
Yeah, definitely. And I think getting the run game involved is going to be a key piece for Minnesota as well.
Falk gets the first down completion over the middle, 8 of 15. So now just over 50% completion. And first catch by that player there.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Joseph, he's been just about irrelevant in this game, which is kind of nuts.
Noel breaks the first tackle, can't break the second as he gains only 2 on the play, second down and 8. And, you know, I'd love to see Noel get more involved, like I mentioned, but he hasn't been able to find a whole lot of success as of yet.
Yeah, and the big playmakers, Falk, Joseph, Noel, none of them have really gotten too involved here tonight.
Run up the middle again, good for only a couple of yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 coming up, and now Falk's going to have to throw, and this is where we've seen him make some of his more questionable choices.
Yeah, definitely. And, 3rd and 4 is probably not where you want to go play action here. They're going to spread it out with 3 wide.
Falk throws middle, and he had him man wide open, but instead it's picked off. Ricky Tidwell right in the passing lane and takes advantage of yet another overthrow.
I mean, we're hearing Cameron Irvine's voice in our ears here. What was that? And that was exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, man, does my voice in my head sound like Cam now? But that's exactly what it was. What was that? Just an absolutely unreal throw from Doug Falk, and not in a positive way. It's just an easy play for Tidwell to pick that one off.
Isaiah Moody was the intended target, but just absolutely missed him by a lot.
And I'm glad Cam pointed this out, because Tidwell's been absolutely off the wall. That's his 3rd interception in his first 4 games as a Wildcat. He had 2 in 1 game.
Yeah, he's doing absolutely incredible. As now we'll see the Wildcats for the first time here in the second half. And, you know, Payne Price, you mentioned, league's leading rusher, and being up 17 points, I would expect we're going to see a whole lot of Payne Price here in the second half.
Oh, absolutely.
Play action. Holdorf decides he's going to make a liar out of me and throws it, but he's been on point for most of the day. That was a nice catch for a Wildcat first down.
Well, I think it's my turn to give you a joke here, Mike. Why did the quarterback throw to the cornfield?
Why is that?
Because all the receivers were outstanding in the field.
Oh. These are getting progressively worse.
No, see, some people would say that corn joke was amazing.
Oh, you got a back-to-back joke in there. First down at 10. Price rushes forward. 87 yards now. He can easily eclipse the 100-yard mark on this possession.
Oh, absolutely. And he's just been running nonstop and extremely well. And again, I've said it over and over again. The O-line has just been impressive tonight.
Price lowers his shoulder and gets himself an extra yard on that one. 3rd down and 1 coming up, and I just don't see Minnesota getting a stop here.
Well, the last time we said that they did get a stop, so let's see if that's
true.
the case here.
Handoff, first down, and more.
Oh my
Still
gosh.
breaking through inside the 20. He's just running like a man possessed.
Well, there you go. Over the century mark with that run, and that was probably his most insane run of the night. I mean, we thought he was dead to rights, about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, somehow squeaks out of that, and then lowers the shoulder there to get a couple more after that. It's all the way up to 102 yards now for Payne Price on the ground tonight.
Fresh set of downs for San Diego, as it's all high fives and celebration on the Wildcat sideline. They're feeling pretty good about this one, up 20-3, and consistently moving the football. A delayed handoff, and that's what I was talking about earlier on, Eric, is Price eclipses the 100-yard mark actually on the previous carry, but adds on another 7 there. They're not even getting touched for the first 7-8 yards, and it sets up these second and very manageable, 2-3 yard to go. And then Price picks it up. So now first down and goal from the 7.
It's bad news bears when you're going and running a play like we saw a couple plays ago, and your tight end is running step for step, stride for stride with your running back. I mean, that's a defensive breakdown for Minnesota.
Yeah. That's been the story of the day for the Minnesota defense, as Price rumbles forward down to the 2-yard line. Mark Lopez in the chat saying, "Is this the Wee Woo show?" Well, I have a feeling you're going to find out here very shortly.
It's coming, Mark. Just you wait.
It's getting ramped up right now. From the 2, Price hit. No, that was McNeil with his 4th carry. And now a third down and goal from the 5. So Minnesota with the opportunity to potentially force a field goal here, but to what end though, Eric? I mean, we've only seen them force one punt, and the offense just isn't getting it done for Minnesota. They gotta do both. They gotta get the stop, and then the offense has to get going.
And maybe that does kind of add to the issues that we've seen defensively from Minnesota, because they just haven't gotten an opportunity to reset on the sideline before they have to go back out there and do it all over again.
Third down and goal in the end zone. McNeil with the touchdown. And when your backup running back runs through a gaping hole and isn't even touched, that just spells nothing but disaster for the Chippers. San Diego, literally and figuratively, running away with this one.
Corvin McNeil, 3rd touchdown on the season. Padding some stats for him, but I mean, again, just all the room in the world to run. I mean, he could have run that thing for 80 yards, and he would have hit the touchdown regardless. So just one of those games for San Diego. They've just been taking it to Minnesota tonight.
Extra point is up and good. 27-3 after a 10-play, 52-yard drive, taking darn near the half of the quarter off the clock. Vincent, do your thing.
Wee woo!
The updated bingo numbers on the screen. Looking
Give a little bit of a more, stomach-based wee woo on that one.
Yeah. I could smell that one.
Oh. Did I? Oh. That does smell like my brand, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I bet. 27-3, San Diego out in front. Looking for postage stamps on your bingo card. That would be making a little box in any of the 4 corners, and depending on which box you fill will change the prize that you could receive.
It could be, a progression gain. It could be a Minnesota Chipper member just getting shipped off to another team. We don't know.
Play action. Falk decides to try to do his best Haldorf impression and runs for a short gain. Picks up 5. Wait, Vincent, what was that game show? Was it Let's Make a Deal? I can't. Like
It
you would
is.
win a
It is.
prize.
Let's
Oh,
make
is
a
that, is
deal.
that the one? All right. So
Yes.
you could win a prize, and it would either be like a car or a used napkin. You'd either win something great or something completely useless.
And Monty Hall, just the absolute master. Rest in peace, Monty Hall, the absolute master of that game show. He would just talk like an auctioneer, going 5 million words a second, and you just didn't know what to do. Do I take the curtain? Do I take the box? I don't know what to take.
So much stress. For the Chippers as well, as it's already 4th down. You know, they started with the ball here in the second half and just did absolutely nothing with it. They gave the Wildcats the ball back, and they took 5 minutes off of the clock, and now the Chippers get another opportunity at it, and just nothing. They can do nothing in this one. It's all San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, this offense has been anemic at best for the Chippers, and there's just not a whole lot to be happy about. There's going to be a lot of things to go back to the drawing board over. And, just one of those flush it games, I believe. You played a more talented team. You really didn't do anything really extremely well. Just flush it, move on to the next one.
Some R.E. Mills highlights. Let's take a look at that 90-yard touchdown. We actually haven't heard his name much since then, but a great start to the game for R.E. Mills. Otherwise, it's been the Payne Price show.
Yeah, and as it should. I mean, they're up multiple scores. Really no need to air raid it down the field. And, you know, that's not really their style, the Wildcats, anyhow. They do like to run the football quite a bit. But, man, Holdorf is great with pinpoint locating those open receivers to make those big plays when necessary.
Play action for Holdorf. He'll throw down the right sideline and overthrows his target as, giving Payne Price a little bit of a rest.
I mean, that was a good miss, though, if you're Holdorf. Like, that's where he wanted to go. Overthrew it just a little bit. Really didn't have anywhere else to go. Don't put it into danger when you're up by big numbers.
Ball handed off up the middle is Price doing Price things. 19 rushes, 130 yards. Vincent, look at that average, 6.8.
Well, and you know, maybe Holdorf is just getting a play call here or there just to kind of keep the arm fresh, just in case they need to throw the ball. Because otherwise, I mean, with that guy running the way he has all night long, there's really no reason to go anywhere else. Just hand it off to Payne Price.
I'm noticing that, well, as we see a flag and a little bit of a false start, the first mistake, I think, all day of any sort by San Diego. Robert Henson and Portia Henson in the chat both giving me a pause a while ago. Now I'm wondering what I said, because did you notice anything pause-worthy?
I don't know. It's certainly not anything that's overtly pause-worthy.
I didn't think so.
I mean, last week, Cam and I were on the call, and there was a lot of pause-worthy moments there.
Oh, absolutely. I think I was even contributing to that in the chat just to try to egg you on. Holdorf on second and 10 gets the first down, just making it look easy. Precision passing as he gets that one out to Kyron Yucker.
I mean, again, it's just keeping the arm loose, and a wild stat. He's completed 11 passes, but he's thrown for 230 yards. I mean, is there a defense actually out there tonight for Minnesota? That's unreal.
Fresh set of downs for the Wildcats. Henson just saying, be thankful Skippy wasn't in here, but not telling me what I done did said. I'm sure I'll hear about it later. First down and 10. And see, that's Holdorf's just trying to knock over Gatorade cups now, and I'm not sure that that's necessary.
You know, maybe he's got a bet on the sideline with some of his Wildcat teammates. You know, I bet you I can hit it from between the hashes. I can knock over to the Gatorade tower.
Price takes the handoff. Just absolutely mowed over a defender. Middle linebacker Brennan Allen went to make the tackle and just got seated by Price.
I mean, he doesn't even have to run like that at this point, and he's still doing it. I mean, he's just an absolute animal out there.
Less than 1 minute to go here in the third quarter, and another first down picked up. And yeah, he just trucks another defender. Champ Boyd sent back onto the turf. He's credited with a tackle, but I'm not sure why.
And I want to point this out, Mike, on this replay. Look at where the offensive line is pushing the defensive line on the right-hand side of that formation. They're pushing them back 3-4 yards deep. That's why Payne Price is able to run as frequently as he has, as successful as he has.
50 plant.
They've just been making it look easy.
Ready.
Haldorf decides to take off and run with it himself, and just like he's been doing all day, look at his rushing stats. 5 rushes, 58 yards. He's averaging over 10 yards per carry from the quarterback position.
I mean, he is a cheat code. He really is. You know, if you don't have a spy out there to protect against that, you're just going to get run on, and that's what we've seen. Holdorf running the ball, Payne Price running the ball, great protection all game long. And Minnesota, man, I think I saw Tyler Falk in the chat earlier making sad chipper noises, and I think we've seen that tonight.
3 quarters in the books, 12 minutes remains here from San Diego. The Wildcats out in front 27-3. You're watching the UFL Coast to Coast on the Virtual Football Network. I'm Mike Daggs. He is Eric Vinson. Cameron Irvine on production back at VFN HQ. Been the Payne Price Show. Payne Price, Zach Haldorf, both of them having absolutely fantastic games. You know, you can't discount R.E. Mills, but most of his stats are from 190-yard reception, the longest in the UFL this season. But, you know, Eric, even though we still have a whole quarter here to go, player of the game so far, what do you think?
Oh, man. I mean, I got to give it to the offensive line as a unit, because otherwise Payne Price isn't going to be able to run like he has. Zach Holdorf isn't going to be able to run like he has. I mean, that's one of the rare instances that Payne Price kind of made an individual play. I mean, we've seen it a couple times from him, not to be fair, but, you know, Brennan Allen gets free. He avoids initial contact, able to make a play. Otherwise, it's been the offensive line just clearing dudes out, and anybody could run through those holes.
Yeah, that's a great point, because, you know, you look at Payne Price's stat line, and with over 160 yards now on the day, but most of those yards, as we've been pointing out, have not been because of him. You know, he's been able to run for 7-8 yards untouched, or over 10 untouched, and it's because of that offensive line. Usually unsung heroes on the offense, but you decided to sing their praises.
Absolutely. And, you know, don't get me wrong, Payne Price, he has been running hard. We talked about it in the third quarter. He's still running hard, even though he doesn't have to. But, I mean, overall, it's been this offensive line for the Wildcats tonight.
2nd down and 12. Haldorf throws down to the bottom. That one is complete. Should give him credit for the first down, but now I think they're going to spot him short, because he was running that direction. So, second catch on the day for Jefferson. 3rd down and 2 coming up from the 11.
Jefferson did have to come back a long ways to get that ball, so I don't necessarily blame the Zebras for spotting it where they did.
Haldorf could pick up the first down on his own, but instead he's going to get sacked. No, he stays on his feet. 2 sacks broken, decides to run with it, gets the first down. I'm telling you, Vincent, they can do no wrong.
Oh, my goodness. That was absolutely unreal. I have no words, no notes, Zach Holdorf. I mean, do your thing, brother. This is just unreal.
Wow.
And it's the type of night that Minnesota has had. I mean, you had not 1 but 2 shots at bringing down this guy for a sack, get him off the field, and he just goes and makes magic and picks up the first down.
Yeah, how do you miss 2 sacks? His Falk's about to fall off the bench. He's just so upset.
Are you sure that's Falk? I looked like Cameron Irvine for a second there.
In disguise. He's just wearing a Chippers jersey down there. He's a big fan. That's just crazy. And Grab 88 in the chat said you need a spy on the Corn King. Would it matter? He just single-handedly broke off 2 sacks. Like, they had him. They had him not once but twice and missed both times.
In this particular game, probably wouldn't matter. I mean, we did see the 1 or 2 times that they did throw a spy out there that it did kind of affect Holdorf's decision-making. But on this type of night, not tonight.
They're down in goal. Holdorf says, watch this. Runs it in for himself. Put a fork in them. They're done. San Diego, with 8 minutes to go, is absolutely running away with this one.
Yeah, I think the corn is officially cooked to a proper temperature here. And, man, oh, man, that was probably the easiest score that Holdorf is ever going to get on that run right there. San Diego, literally and figuratively, like you said, Mike, running away with this thing.
Holdorf decides to add some points on his own. Falk, he's had enough. Throwing his helmet into the chipper.
Noises.
Yeah. Extra point up and good. 34-3. Look at that. 16-play, 87-yard drive. 7 minutes, 12 seconds off the clock. Like, the Minnesota defense just can't do anything.
No, can't get them off the field at all. And it's in a situation where you know what they're going to give you. They're not going to, throw a whole bunch of exotic plays at you. They're up big. They're just going to run the football and chew some clock. And that's what they've done virtually the entire game anyway. They just want to run the ball, chew up as much clock as humanly possible. That way you have very minimal opportunities to match their scoring. And San Diego has just done that and then some here tonight against Minnesota. More bingo numbers for all you lovely addicts out there. We woo.
See what the Chippers are able to do with it. But more importantly, Eric, what is your favorite way to eat corn?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like, are you a corn on the cob guy, or do you prefer it to be like already cut? Let's start with that.
Much like apples, like I'm not a fan of eating an apple whole. I'm not a fan of eating corn on the cob. It just gets stuck in my teeth.
Really? Okay. All right. See, I like corn on the cob. I like grilling corn on the cob. And yeah, it does get in your teeth, but you just got to floss afterwards. It's not, it's not like it has to stay there. You can adjust. You can
That's
adapt.
valid. That's valid. But if I'm going over to your house or something, I don't want to be staring back at your ugly mug and, oh my goodness, having a piece of corn just stuck there, like right there in my front tooth,
So do you prefer to have do you take fresh corn and cut it off the cob, or do you just keep it simple and open up a can of corn, or are you a frozen corn guy?
Can of corn. I do like the frozen corn, the kind you can kind of steam in the microwave. I like those.
Huh. All right. And I say I've never been much of a frozen corn guy. I like when you freeze vegetables, it just seems to, I don't know, it changes them in a way. Our producer asking if we have nothing better to talk about. That is correct. that's where we're at right now. All right. Falk down to the bottom, completes the pass to Tyler Falk. And they're in San Diego territory, and I'd love to be excited for him, Eric, but it's just too late. 7 minutes to go in the ball game, down 30.
Yeah, I mean they've had plenty of opportunities to get themselves back in it. It's definitely too little, too late at this point.
Falk has time, gets that one complete to Dalton Brown. 13 of 22, 112 yards and a pick on the day for Doug Falk. It's just nothing's gone right. Offensively, defensively, pass, run, doesn't matter.
And prior to this drive, 471 to 124 was the total stat line.
Yeah, it's just been insanely lopsided in every statistical category that you can come up with for San Diego. And they almost get another pick. Watch this on this replay.
Yeah.
Should have had it.
Again, it's been the decision-making. It's been the ball placement for Doug Falk all day. Just hasn't really been putting them in good spots for his receivers to make plays. The one interception he threw was just completely inexcusable. And you know, it's definitely contributed for San Diego tonight to just really do whatever they want.
So anyway, my favorite way to eat corn is I like to take like a fresh corn on the cob, right?
Mhm.
And you husk it, and then
Okay.
you run it underwater for a little bit. Only like 30 seconds or so. You kind of want some water to get in between the kernels, and then you quickly wrap that up in aluminum foil.
So that way you
And
get a
then you
little
heat-
natural steaming action.
Yeah. Then you heat up the grill and you throw it on the grill and you just cook it. Yeah, anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes. 20 is usually better if you like to be a little softer. And then as soon as the time is up, you open it up and you have a beautiful, perfectly cooked corn. And another thing you can do too is I like to put a little bit of Cajun seasoning on it, and you can actually do that before, like you run it underwater, then you quick season it, then wrap it up, and then it steams in that Cajun flavor. It's so good.
You know, Dax, I knew I liked you, man, because I'm sitting here thinking, what do you season your corn with? You already answered that question. There you go.
Oh yeah. Tony Chachere's. Tony
Yes.
Chachere's Cajun seasoning. It's so good.
Not a hashtag ad, chat. Not a hashtag ad.
Speaking of ads, this week in the UFL, Los Angeles battles Dakota on Monday Night Primetime, and the Game Day Gauntlet is back Tuesday night with Cameron Irvine, headlined by East Heavyweights St. Louis and Miami. Football never stops here on VFN. And Payne Price never stops, Eric,
Oh, my God.
because he gets inside the 30, inside the
Oh, my
20.
God.
He never stops, indeed, all the way to the house. Touchdown, a 60-yard touchdown run for Payne Price.
And especially on a play like that where it just looked completely broken from the start. I mean, Holdorf is basically bear hugging his fullback on that play. He somehow gets it to Price, and Payne just takes off like it's nothing. Like that was the play design from the start. Absolutely insane.
The previous long on the season for Payne Price, Eric, was 24 yards. He just more than doubled that.
God.
Extra point is up and good. 41 now off the board. Vincent, do your thing.
Wee woo.
Oh, that was an extended wee woo.
A little bit. Want to make sure that, look, the good thing about this is that we've got plenty of bingo numbers, a lot of unique numbers coming off the board here, which is great because, well, only one team's doing the scoring. So, not a whole lot of duplicates tonight.
No, there really hasn't been. I think 7 might have been. No. I thought 7 might be duplicated, but that's when I thought an 18-yard field goal was actually a 7-yard field goal. but that's not possible.
That's not possible.
No, you don't typically kick the ball from inside the end zone. I don't know what happened at that moment, but we've moved past it.
You were trying to
brings it
think
up.
of all the corn jokes that you could possibly provide.
I was, yeah. I was trying to multitask and failed. Just wasn't to be. So Falk back out onto the field now. At this
Oh
point,
my
playing
gosh.
for pride.
Look at that, though. 551 to 161, the total yards there, Mike.
I don't even know what to make of it. Falk just leveled as he throws that one, but almost gets that one complete. It was a nice acrobatic attempt at a catch by wide receiver Isaiah Moody. Only 6 foot tall. If he maybe had a couple more inches on him, he would have been a little bit more in a better position. Falk to throw again, this time much shorter over the middle, and gets that one complete.
And that toss to Moody was really probably the best opportunity for Minnesota to get a big play tonight. Just ended up being, like you said, a couple inches taller, maybe.
First down and 10. Falk finds the target. That's Michael Joseph. Gets it into San Diego territory. This is the 7th game this season, Eric, where Minnesota has scored less than 13 points. And even if they get a touchdown on this drive, they're still going to be in that territory.
And the most points that they have given up in 2 years of UFL action. So,
Yeah, not a good night to be a Chippers fan.
Yeah, a lot of things to really go over in that locker room following this loss.
JW Hart saying, there's a good pause-worthy moment. What are we saying?
What are we saying?
I don't know. I think I'm just getting trolled at this point. 17 of 28, 154 yards, and a pick for Falk. Only 3 points. And they scored those 3 points, Eric, back when it was 14-3. So, it still seemed at that point like it was, still a competitive ball game. I mean, Minnesota definitely could have climbed back into it, but since then, it's been nothing but San Diego and our producer getting involved on the pause action. I
got nothing. I don't know. I got nothing.
We're being trolled. Just ignore them all. Oh, Falk with a nice pass. Where was that all game? Gets that one down to the 7, 1st and goal.
All right, yeah. I mean, in triple coverage, finds Vincent Henry with the grab there. But, I mean, good ball placement at least for his receiver to make the play.
Falk from the 7. Fires to the end zone. That one is complete. They get a touchdown, their first of the ball game, and the Chippers able to put some more points on the board.
The aforementioned Vincent Henry getting in there. Only had 2 catches coming into this game. Ends up getting 2 catches on the drive. Gets his first touchdown of the season. Man, okay. Way to go, Mr. Henry.
It won't help them win the game, but at least, able to get his first touchdown on the season. And it cuts into the deficit. The margin of victory won't look quite as good for San Diego, but still up 41-10, and they will get the ball back. But, a great scoring drive for Minnesota, albeit too little too late.
I mean, you do add 10 to the board for all my lovely addicts out there. Wee woo. We get an individual celebration for Mr. Henry for getting his first touchdown grab of the season. And for San Diego, I really don't think that they are sweating too much over whether it's a 38-point victory or a 31-point victory.
No, I don't think they're really going to care. Obviously at the end of the season, the only thing that could come down to is any sort of tiebreakers where points scored, points allowed, margin of victories, the various strengths. But then you're really starting to split hairs over what you're looking for and why. And hey, look at that. The ball bounced their way. Their onside kick recovered by the Chippers. Did you say we got chips over here? Falk over
that's
the middle.
That's what I heard.
I mean, I can go for some chips. Chips and queso.
Oh,
so good.
Hey, you're speaking my language.
You like chips and salsa or chips and queso better?
Oh, I'm a chips and queso guy.
All right, that a boy. See,
yeah,
we're besties that never got to live that way.
That's a fact.
Why do you gotta live way far away, man?
I've had this conversation with my good friend, my best friend, Kate Stevens. And, we just met each other at the wrong point in our lives. Otherwise, oh boy, would our lives be a little bit different.
Both of you would be in jail.
Oh, I don't know about that.
The shenanigans that would have been had.
Although I did tell him, because, clearly we got this thing in hand here. I did tell him that you put him in Nashville, he's Brantley frickin' Gilbert. On a normal day that ends in wine, he's Betty White.
Oof. 2 minutes to go here in this one. The Chippers trying to get over that 13-point mark. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, but like I said, Eric, they're playing for pride at this point. They want to see if they can at least put a few more points on the board. They don't want this to be the 7th game scoring 13 or less.
No, definitely not. And I got a real opportunity here setting up with the red zone.
Falk throws down to the bottom, catches the pass. That's Michael Joseph. If he had just kept on going, I think he could have gotten another 10.
Yeah, and maybe they needed to run this no huddle offense a little bit sooner here. It's just kind of keeping the Wildcats off guard defensively.
Big river, big river.
Falk looks, fires down towards the 6-yard line. That one is complete, stepping out of bounds. 2nd down and 3 now.
Yeah, Roland with the catch there.
Ready, ready.
Trying to make this a little bit more respectable. I mean, Doug Falk's numbers aren't too bad at this point. 25 of 37.
Falk from the 6 steps up into the pocket, throws down to the 6. Not sure. you got to throw to the end zone there.
Yeah, yeah. It was just the way you said it there, right? And he throws down to the 6. Oh gosh.
Positive yardage, Doug. Positive yardage. There you go. End zone touchdown, and they'll get to 17 now with the extra point forthcoming. And while we wait for that, Mark Lopez brings up a good question. Says, what about chips and guacamole?
Oh, I do love some good guac. It's got to be good guac, though.
Yeah, because, all right. In your opinion, what is good guac as far as like consistency? Do you like it to be more blended or still with a little bit of texture?
I'm more of like a creamy guac with a little bit of avocado chunks in there.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like in between. You don't want it to be all liquid, but not, it's got to at least be somewhat mashed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice and thick consistency, creamy overall, but little bit of avocado chunks in there. It just divine. Tableside guacamole. Have you ever been to a restaurant that offers that?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my goodness. That's the absolute best kind of guacamole you can ever have.
Yep. It doesn't get any more fresh than that when they make it right there.
Absolutely.
Right in front of you. So guacamole or queso, which one, like if you had to pick one, which one are you picking?
Still got to go queso, man. I love me some queso.
Attaboy.
Especially a good queso blanco, man. Like, oh.
Yes, sir.
On.
I knew you were all right. Or even, you do. And, that time the onside kick was recovered by the Wildcats, and now they'll just be able to finish this one off here. Grab 88 says salsa is better. Salsa? No. Listen, I love salsa. I could make some fresh salsa and eat the whole darn bowl of it myself. Really, regardless of the size of the bowl. I just could. But that being said, if there's queso or if there is guacamole, I'm 10 times out of 10 picking one of the two over salsa.
Yes.
It's just tomatoes.
I mean, it depends on how you make the salsa. Like sometimes, you throw a little onion in there and kind of spice
you
it
got
up,
it. Yeah.
But overall, gotta be queso. Gotta be queso.
Yeah.
Poor Cameron Irvine's just losing his mind over here. He's clearly not as hungry as we are.
He's fine. Where did I put that razor? I guess I missed that comment. No, he's not fine. No, that's not good at all.
That was what I laughed at.
Yeah, I missed that one, but it seems like the chat's more on our side when it's when you're talking about queso. And yeah, queso blanco, that one's really good when you have like it's a little bit more liquidy, but Oaxaca. If you just take Oaxaca and you melt it in a cast iron skillet, it's not like a dip. I mean, you're scooping up like big thick cheese at that point, but Oaxaca cheese is some of the most delicious that you can imagine.
I have heard good things about Oaxaca cheese. From my Italian roots, I mean, they have, particularly in Italy, they will cook the pasta in a cheese wheel and then serve that.
Oh, I've seen that.
Oh my God. It's just absolutely incredible.
It is. All right, we got to focus because the game is over, so we got to do some sort of wrap up here now. But it was great chatting about food. Now I've got to go make something to eat for dinner because I'm, there's no catering here apparently.
No.
In San Diego. So how about? Yeah, they did. Yeah, they'd had enough. How about the Wildcats, Eric? They had such an impressive game, 41-17. Zach Haldorf with an incredible performance. Payne Price with an incredible performance. And that offensive line. Your final thoughts on this one?
I mean, you look at the numbers right there. I mean, San Diego
330.
just did anything they wanted to do. I mean, 562 total offense, averaged almost 9 yards a play here today. I mean, it gave the home crowd plenty to cheer about in this blowout win. And we talked about coming into it that it was going to be Zach Holdorf and Payne Price that you're going to have to watch out for. Sure enough, those two guys showed up and showed out in a huge way. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, I mean, a lot of things to look over. Offensively, defensively, that locker room is going to be making sad chipper noises.
Yeah, they sure are. You know, that Minnesota does fall to 3-8 on the season now. They're now buried down at the bottom of the West with currently 2-8 Vegas. And San Diego will improve to 5-6 on the season, so that's going to push them a little bit closer to the top. You got Austin at 6-4, Los Angeles at 5-5. So now with San Diego at 5-6, but the road does not get any easier for Minnesota. Eric, they next face the New York Lightning next week, who is 8-2 at the top of the East.
Yep, and even if you're playing that at home, I mean, New York is a tough football team to really play against right now. You don't want to go up against the Lightning that's in our backyard. So don't want to fight against them. And for San Diego, they're going to go on the road against Wichita, who's starting to get a little bit better. Again, a lot of these teams starting to really find their footing as the season is going along. And I think the Flyers are one of those teams to kind of watch out for, also in the Western Conference.
Yeah, absolutely. Wichita at 6-4 on the season. Plenty of UFL football coming up throughout the evening and throughout your week, as you've got the gauntlet on Tuesday to look forward to. But this has been a presentation of the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. For Eric Vincent, Cameron Irvine, and Matt Wilson, who's always with me in spirit on every broadcast, I'm Mike Daggs. Thanks for joining us. Be kind to one another and always choose happy and queso. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
UFL Coast to Coast returns to the Big Apple, where one faithful franchise within the 5 boroughs prepares to gird up its proverbial loins in search of a league championship. We refer, of course, to the New York Lightning, set to host the Wichita Flyers. Round 2 of UFL Coast to Coast will kick off shortly. I'm Josh Sturkle, joined by Tyler Falk here in the booth. Tyler, New York has been the headliner in this league all season, but Wichita is gaining some steam. What will you be watching for in tonight's matchup?
Oh, that I will be, Josh. Thanks for having me along here in the booth. And what I'm really interested for is how the depth of this New York Lightning team is going to combat the depth of the receiving core that Wichita has. We've been talking a lot about Timothy Shea here in the interim, here in the behind the scenes here in the booth, and I'm really looking forward to see what the black and gold can do against the green and white.
Fantastic performers on both sides of the ball for both offense and defense, especially that man right there, Robert Henson Jr. It'll be Wichita beginning with the football, wearing green helmets, white jerseys, and green pants. New York Lightning, black helmets, black tops, and white trousers. We will kick this off at the 28-yard line, and here comes El Matador himself, BK Solberg, and he'll start in shotgun on first down. Over the middle, that is caught, complete. Darian Adkins with the first catch of the game, good for a couple. Tyler Falk, what do you love about this Wichita offense?
Yeah, of course we've talked about Timothy Shea and the receiving core, but you got to look at R.J. Gilmore as well. A perfect number 2, if you will, to Shea. And of course the running back, Chris Delro, is always fun to watch. And of course, Brett Solberg is not afraid to air out the football time and time again.
Not by any stretch of the imagination. Running motion here on second and short. Chris Delro, that man has a first down and more. Turning upfield and goes out of bounds at midfield. Delro coming off back-to-back 100-yard gains. Gets 16 on his first carry tonight.
And with his almost patent-pending running style, holding the football like a loaf of bread, almost no ball security would seem, but it doesn't seem to face him enough as he tries to get out of a Borges Bacon tackle for a longer gain. But that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to run a lot of these misdirections to try and get the defense to react, and that time it worked.
One could argue that Wichita running the football at all is misdirection. At Delro again, this time he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. That's Sean Muller with the pop in the backfield.
Okay, that is the perfect combo we're looking for. A little bit of misdirection in the previous play. They try and do it again, but this time New York is not fooled, and that's exactly what you're looking for out of Muller and out of this linebacking core, who is going to have to deal with this dual-headed threat.
Wichita trying to be two-dimensional here, want to be not only just a passing team, but a running team as well. It's been something they've been working on after the blowout loss to Dakota, where Solberg really had Fisters in his face all evening long. Second and long here. Solberg out of the shotgun again over the middle. Delro one more time, this time receiving the ball, and the Flyers are in plus territory.
And that's just a brilliant route run. Usually tailbacks don't get a good enough break on their route because they're not used to running it from a standard wide receiver route. But that time, Delro with a good push on the line, probably up against a linebacker, gets the job done.
Delro on the bench this time. Chris Pollard comes in for relief. Solberg throws, and that is complete to Dwayne Knight. 3 touchdowns on the season, 1 catch on the evening tonight.
Okay, a couple of more developing plays to begin now, just going a little bit up tempo, a quick hitter, keeping New York on their toes.
Play action to Delro, under pressure, Solberg lets it loose, complete, flag on the play. R.J. Gilmore, who did not have a catch last week, and that catch will be nullified with the illegal man downfield.
Oh man, I didn't see that, and I'm glad that we have referees to have better eyes on that. Maybe a half yard down the field, getting maybe too much of a good push. That's gonna really back them up a bit and make second down a little bit longer than they would have hoped for.
They need the 28. Delro up the middle. Tackled by Quamaine Harrison, making his UFL debut tonight. And Harrison joining a very stout New York defense, Tyler.
And that they are. They are one of the best teams in terms of defenses that are scored against. So 17.4 points a game allowed by this New York Lightning team. It's top 3 in the league, and they're very, very hard to to run on top 3 in rushing defense. In fact, the best team in rushing defense in the league.
On the cusp of field goal range, Solberg will throw again. That is going to be close. Atkins again. And we wait for the official spot. 4th and inches. Tyler, what do you think?
Oh, that's close. That's a really good turn by Atkins right there. See how he quickly just tries to get upfield, is not able to extend the arms. Cassian Cross with a good wrap-up tackle to pin those arms against the body to not prevent it further. And I think it's maybe too close to call, but they might go for it, and indeed they are.
Out of the shotgun on 4th and inches. Solberg with Pollard in the backfield, and they go to Pollard, and I think Pollard's got it. First down.
When you only need an eyelash to get a first down, all you need is that. So good push up front by the O-line. Almost looked like a mismatch. Almost looked like New York was ready for it. But good job by the O-line to get Pollard through.
Solberg sends Delro in motion, and we'll have delay game.
Second offensive penalty on the opening drive here for the Flyers, and that's not something you want to have on your resume coming against one of the league's best.
Not at all. So after gaining the eyelash, as you said, Tyler, it's now 1st and 15. And the field goal, especially with kicker Drew Duncan, an ethereal possibility at this point. Over the middle, Solberg, that is caught. Timothy Shea, who has 6 touchdowns on the season, makes his first catch of the night.
And that is a more generous spot than I think that they'll give him credit for. Good shot block underneath by Delro, and Shea cutting across the middle. We usually talk about running backs going more east to west, and then we should be probably getting them north and south. But here, Shea, from that angle, I don't think he got it.
Is recorded as a first down all the same. And now Solberg will shake it up and go under center. Throwing to his right this time, leaping grab from Jamichael Morris. This very deep Wichita Flyer wide receiver room now has Shea and Morris with catch.
Yeah, absolutely. Morris, you usually talk about him as a wide receiver, but listed as a tight end. But you can see there, doesn't matter who Solberg tries to throw to, everyone's coming up with a catch.
Delro will get a few on the draw. That's his 4th rush already. And we're still in the first drive of the game, and now 3rd and manageable, Tyler.
And Solberg has yet to throw an incomplete pass here on the drive. Looking for 4 yards here on 3rd down.
4-man rush. Solberg with time, going to the end zone in the corner, and that is caught for the touchdown! R.J. Gilmore, who was shut out on the score sheet last week, finds the end zone tonight.
It's an in route that turns into a post corner route. And it's a perfectly placed ball from Solberg to Gilmore. You cannot draw that up any better. He gets both feet down. Textbook play call here in the red zone for the Flyers.
And one of the stingiest red zone defenses in the league in New York gives up a touchdown on the first drive of the game as Solberg finds R.J. Gilmore in the end zone. The extra point is good, and the Wichita Flyers lead on the road 7-0. UFLshop.com, stocked with the best tees, sweatshirts, flags, and more, and now ships internationally to 27 different countries around the world. A Printful partnership. It's UFL you can wear at UFL, YOUFL shop.com. We got bingo numbers at the bottom of your screen. We'll be updating those throughout the night. Get your bingo card, find out in the chat how you can join that action.
It is the first points that New York have surrendered in 2 weeks after the shutout victory they posted over Salt Lake last week, and some of those bingo numbers finally going against them instead of for them.
Touchback on the kickoff. Declan James elects to kneel it. And Joe Francis and company will start on the 25-yard line. What a season Francis is having so far, Tyler.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been absolutely dynamite for New York this season. 209 of 291, and he hands it off on the first down. It's a big play up the right-hand numbers all the way up to the 44-yard line. And we can't even talk about Francis, because we've got to go and immediately start talking about this tailback room. That's the fullback, Robert Henson Jr. How often do you see a fullback busting up 20-yard runs like that? Great blocking downfield, great execution. How big is that hole for him to run through? And how shifty is Henson, the big old fullback? Usually they're lowering their shoulder and trucking over defenders.
I'm a little terrified that Robert Henson Jr. can move like that. Usually the fullback in this set, as you said, and the feature back for that play, and what a feature he was. Henson one more time around the right side. He's going to get stopped by number 54. That's Harper Dew, had a tackle for loss last week. Tyler, tell us more about this New York offense.
All right, we quickly talked about Joe Francis. We got Jupiter Jennings, the tailback, Mark Anthony, wide receiver, Eden Hart, Robert Henson Jr. as well. So a very deep, you can't forget Jazz Eldmere as well, but a very deep offensive lineup full of stars, and it's the reason why they're one of the best in the league at the moment.
Two-back set this time for New York. Francis in the shotgun on 2nd and 6. It's Eden Hart in the backfield, thrown over the middle. That's Declan James. And Declan James, with his first catch of the game, gets his team into field goal range.
17 yards on a nifty little play action pass, getting the Flyers defense to bite into the coverage a little bit. You see their middle linebacker jumping down. That's Donovan Holland jumping down. That frees open the space behind him in the zone, and Francis just slots it in.
Tremendous throw. Francis, who has had his slow starts in some UFL games this season, comes out hot. And finding Declan James and gets his offense poised to score a few points. Here on the opening drive, Francis under center this time. Jupiter Jennings in the backfield by his lonesome. Just over 4 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. It's Jennings up the middle, Jennings to the 30. And Jennings is greeted by Sean Griffin of this Wichita defense, Tyler.
All right, this defense has got their work cut out for them here tonight. They do have a top 4 rushing defense in the league, and it's really going to come down to whether or not Casey Reed and that defensive front 4 can get into the backfield often and early.
Here we go. 30 base.
So many weapons to account for. Wichita indeed. A lot to consider. Francis under center again here on 2nd and 5. 5-step drop over the middle, looking for Eden Hart, and that will bounce in and out of her hands to make it 3rd and 5.
I believe that was Joshua Durer, the strong safety, coming up into the middle area of the zone. Looked like maybe a cover 1 shell, and he just popped right in front of the passing lane and knocked it free.
5 DBs on the field. Wichita will blitz to the sideline. That's going to be close. Mark Anthony makes a diving catch. You're going to say he's just a bit short.
Yeah, he caught it, but the ball landed short of that invisible yellow line. And unlike Wichita, New York's going to try and take 3 points here.
This will be 42 yards from Cyrus Foster on the left hash. As crisply as you please, and New York pulls within 4 points to make it 7-3. This week in the UFL, Los Angeles battles Dakota on Monday Night Primetime. And the Game Day Gauntlet returns to Tuesday night with Cameron Irvine. St. Louis and Miami headline the melee of virtual football chaos. UFL action on the Virtual Football Network. Football never stops here on VFN. And Tyler, we'll see if Wichita stops after the success they had on their opening drive.
Yeah, absolutely. It was almost derailed, but a quick 4th and inches call kept the drive alive, and then we saw that pretty catch by Gilmore in the back corner of the end zone to give them their lead. And this is a really good start for Wichita. They have this early lead, and they only surrender 3 points on the ensuing drive. Now can they keep up the momentum is the big question.
Delro will return this and get it out to the 27. And the thing I liked about Wichita's first drive, Tyler, is that they were aggressive, but it wasn't all pass. They really mixed it up. They got Delro involved, and Solberg got a lot of guys involved in that opening drive.
Yeah, and they also implemented a lot of misdirection. We'll see if they try and continue that here.
We're going to shotgun on 1st down. No surprises so far. To the right side, that's caught. Timothy Shea. Catch numero 2 on the evening, 2nd and 4.
And another quick hitter. We're seeing a little bit of everything mixed in, from some developing plays to some runs to some quick hitters. Keep New York guessing.
Three receivers to Solberg's left. On the draw again, Delro this time. Hunted down in the backfield. That's Rowan Cassidy. Had 4 tackles and a sack last week, her first tackle tonight.
And she does a great job of getting off of the right tackle to get into the running lane and haul down the ball carrier. Good job.
Now a big third down here. Delro might have jumped there. Solberg over the middle, and that is incomplete, intended for Jamichael Morris. And that is a brutal 3-and-out for the Flyers.
That was an ill-advised throw. Harrison is right there, and I think Solberg's trying to fit it behind him, but Harrison's just too quick for the middle linebacker spot. Tracking it, you can see his eyes there, fully on the football, doing a good job of tracking it and getting his hand to it. That's the first incompletion of the night for BK Solberg.
A great play by the newcomer, Quamaine Harrison, who joined this team for his first game tonight. Punt is away. And that will be down right at the 20 as Declan James is greeted by 2 Wichita special teamers. That man, Jazz Eldmere, one of the more exciting receivers in UFL. And he and Francis trying to cook something up for this drive. Francis not very potent in terms of yardage, but has it where it counts. Throw it to the right, nearly intercepted, in and out of the hands of Jamarcus Richmond, and Francis very lucky to have that one back.
Yeah, he is, and the Flyers playing underneath coverage, anticipating something short, and this has already knocked New York a little bit out of rhythm.
2-back set, handing off Jennings to the left side, maybe a couple. Very modest start for Jennings so far, only a couple of rushes, and now 3rd and 7.
Really up to Wichita again. They need one more stop here to give New York a little taste of their own medicine after going 3 out on offense the drive before.
A nickel set, Wichita. Francis has time. It's going to unleash the dragon going down the field. A lot of contact there, no flag. And Mark Anthony cannot bring it in. And New York has a 3-and-out of their own.
On the last drive, they got saved because the ball carrier stopped short of the line and they were playing too far back. And this is why they get into the right area this time. Perfectly placed defender. And it'll say just a little bit of bump in there, a little bit of miscommunication, but Harper's right there to knock it free. Almost comes away with a pick, but they indeed send New York out on 3 downs. And good stand from this Wichita defense as they nearly blocked the punt here on special teams.
Brandon Piner gets it away. Fair catch at the 32 from Delro. Wichita will go back on offense. For everything UFL, visit the official league website at UFL. That's YOUFL.football to claim a player. Learn more about the league, catch up on news, and more. YOUFL.football in partnership with Sidearm Sports. Chris Delro, in partnership with a handoff from Solberg, will get 3 yards on 1st down, 2nd and 7.
Does a good job there of getting downfield. If the block would have just held a little bit longer, Cassidy and Cross wouldn't have been there to slow him down. Eventually, the rest of the gang from Cross's side comes down to bring him down.
Solberg on the outlet. That's caught by Morris. And Morris out of bounds around the 45, and that will conclude the first quarter. Wichita strikes first, and they lead here at the Big Apple at 7-3. You're watching UFL Coast to Coast on the Virtual Football Network. I'm Josh Circle. He's Tyler Falk. That is BK Solberg in the shotgun here on 1st down, looking to pull off an upset against the New York Lightning. And he fires one over the middle. Had the route that he wanted, but could not bring it in.
I think there was just a bit too much touch on the football. That's the perfectly placed ball against cover 2. Straight in the middle of those 2 safeties, but just a bit too much touch allows those 2 safeties collapsing on the receiver.
Split them perfectly. Delro cannot split the defense. A host of black jerseys meeting him at the line of scrimmage. And now 3rd and long again for Wichita.
Now can Wichita get out of this funk that they were on the last drive? Can they convert here on 3rd and long?
Goldberg, 4-man rush, under pressure, gotta go. Brought down Rowan Cassidy. Takes Solberg to the turf for her first sack of the game.
Solberg, I think that's the wrong kind of two-step. A lot of dancing further and further back, waiting for somebody to pop open against this cover 3 look here from New York. And he's got to go deep. He's got to go beyond the sticks, and it was just a little bit too developing. Maybe had a wide receiver on the right-hand side coming, but you can see he's too focused on the left-hand side, and he doesn't even see Cassidy coming from the strong side, and that's ultimately what undoes him.
Almost a coverage sack there. Although to Solberg, it probably didn't feel like a coverage sack. Blake Kramer will punt this away. Caught at the 19. They're going to get a return. And Declan James gets it out to the 33. 3 last offensive drives for both teams were 3 and outs. What can Joe Francis do here on this 4th iteration, if you will?
I think what they got to do is get back to the run. That Robert Henson Jr. run for the first play of their offensive day was really promising, and they think they're just going too much pass at the moment.
Francis at the numbers finds Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony has a catch and a first down to his stat sheet for the night. Good start for the Lightning.
Absolutely catching him off guard there in the zone. They just sit right at the 10-yard yards from the line of scrimmage. Perfect first down play.
It's a quick drop. Caught Anthony again. Anthony has his team into plus territory. And don't look now, Tyler, but we have some offense on our hands.
Usually we don't like calling similar plays back-to-back, but if Wichita's going to keep giving up those soft stop routes, might as well keep throwing them.
2-back set for the Lightning. Jennings gets the call. Jennings will get a couple as he tumbles upfield. 3rd rush of the game for Jennings. Can't believe that was a 6-yard run, but it was. 2nd and 4.
After a couple of good passing plays, maybe Wichita's be back on their heels a bit, and now New York's incorporating a little bit more of the run.
Henson this time. Robert Henson Jr. busts through the line to get the first down. This 2-headed running back monster of New York. Very fruitful so far as the Lightning are in field goal range.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about maybe they need more run, and now they're finally incorporating last 2 plays, running for about 10, 11 yards combined, and now another heavy set. Here they go again.
Henson again, taking a defender with him to the 25, now down at the 24. New York looking for their first touchdown of the night.
4 rushes for 35 yards, about half of those yards coming on his first run of the night. Now maybe going back to him again? No.
Shotgun again to the sideline. Anthony, his former teammate at Florida. They've connected 3 times on this drive, all 3 for first downs.
Wichita's really back up on their heels now. They don't know what to expect. They're getting beat at the point of attack. They're really going to come up with a stop here. Maybe a rush here from the outside.
To the red zone. Jennings stopped in the backfield. Wichita gets the stop they're looking for. It's Harper Dew with a TFL.
A 3-3 package out there, 3 linebackers, 3 D-line, and they send everybody. And that's just one too many guys for the front 5 of New York to account for as Harper Dew comes in untouched.
We don't talk a lot about Harper Dew. Joshua Durr gets a lot of the press for this Wichita defense, but Harper Dew clogs the middle of that field as well as anybody in the UFL. And now the Lightning looking for answers here on 2nd and long. 3 wide set. Henson in the backfield. He'll get the call. Brought down behind the line again. It's Harper Dew blowing up the Lightning's offensive ambitions.
There's a reason why he has over 100 tackles and one of the league leaders in tackles this season, because he has eyes and a nose for the football, able to sniff out the run, get to Henson quickly, and now it's 3rd down here for New York.
Big decision time here on 3rd and long. And Francis in the shotgun. Throwing toward the end zone, and it's Eden Hart. Her first catch of the game. Her first touchdown for the Lightning.
Just a crossing pattern, just catching Wichita off guard. You can see they're late to react here in the zone coverage. Their backs are turned to Hart. That's money. If you're Joe Francis, his eyes were lighting up as big as saucers seeing Eden wide open in the end zone.
Touchdown number 5 on the season for Eden Hart. The extra point is good, and New York enjoys their first lead of the game. It's 10-7. Very impressive drive there, Tyler.
Couple of good defensive stops for their defense, help set up the drive, and then their offense comes out and puts together a phenomenal drive of their own, mixing in the run and the pass, starting out with a couple of quick hitters, get Joe Francis back in rhythm, get him comfortable in that pocket, and then get the running game going. It was a fantastic drive that sets him up here with a 3-point lead.
A tremendous matchup that has lived up to its billing. Wichita has won 5 of their last 7, facing off against a New York team that won their first 6 games of the season before stumbling against Chicago and St. Louis. Got back to their winning ways in a major way by shutting out Salt Lake in this very stadium 1 week ago. And now Wichita getting the full taste of the New York experience as BK Solberg now will take the field for the first time, trailing with 6:25 to play in the first half. Nowhere in the backfield. Here comes the blitz. Solberg lets it rip. That is in and out of the hands of Timothy Shea. Good looking ball, but he couldn't bring it in. Second down.
If we're talking college football, that is a catch 9 times out of 10. But because these guys are so much more seasoned, that ball is not going to stay in the hands. Too many big hits by these guys. Too many good stars for New York.
Solberg complete this time to Jamichael Morris. And the Flyers get back on schedule here, 3rd and short. Dawson on the tackle. Now a spread look. Delro stopped, ran into his own player, and he's going to be marked short. 4th and inches again for the Flyers. Do they go for it here, Tyler?
I would like to see him do it, but I don't think he's going to. That's just unfortunate. He gets behind Jamal Gordon, his guard, his right guard, and he just gets stubbed up. That's an excellent, almost like a double tackle, if you will, from Voorhees Jordan, who just plants himself at the line to gain and says, you're not going anywhere, and the bulk here behind you ain't going anywhere.
It will punt from their own 34 and decline to go on 4th and inches. James to the 30 and now to the 32. A 5-yard return. Every yard is going to count in this game, I think. And Francis will take the field with 5:12 to play in the first half.
And after that last drive, I think you come out and maybe throw another wrench in. And after going pass to begin that drive, I think you go run.
And the first part of that comes true. Jennings up the middle. Maybe a yard. They'll say no gain. Harper Dew there on the stop.
Well, Wichita's not slouching on that either. I think they guessed right, thinking, you know what, New York's going to try and throw us another wrinkle. Let's go ahead and stop it quickly.
Henson in the backfield this time. And Henson will try again, has nowhere to go. Blown up by a cadre of defenders, Brendan Bell and Zach Riodum on the scene.
Run, and stuff from the Flyers. They send an extra couple of guys in almost in a design blitz. They get into the backfield quickly, and now they're going to force New York to throw, who on the last 3rd and long, they tried to boot it downfield, and it was almost picked. We'll see if they can stop him here again.
They show blitz, and they do. Mark Anthony with a big catch in traffic. Gets his team out to the 47-yard line with less than 4 to play in the half.
And that's just a good play call from the offense, realizing they're probably sending the blitz here in a zone blitz, and they know they got to do it quick. So it's a quick slant, cut and turn from Mark Anthony. He gets at the 8-yard line and further upfield after the catch for the first down. Brilliant play call. Perfect blitz counter there.
Clock continues to run. Just over 3.5 now in the first half. Francis play action. Going up the right seam. That is caught. Eden Hart gets loose and nearly has a lead to the end zone, but pushed out of bounds at the 12.
Only 2 catches, but they've been for explosive plays. First catch was for a touchdown. This time on a play action pass where she has nobody in front of her. Luckily for Wichita, they're able to catch up to her quickly because he's just a tight end, not too speedy. But my goodness, when you leave 3 defenders in your wake after a catch like that, You know, that's a confidence boost for offensive coordinator to continue to find you and continue to tell your QB to find her out in space.
Francis in the red zone now. That's complete. First catch of the game for Jazz Aldmere. A little bit of a surprise there. Corralled by Casey Reed, the stout defender for Wichita. 2nd and 15.
They try and set up the screen, but Wichita's in man coverage. If you're the quarterback here, you got to check out of that because that screen's going to go nowhere because you got guys covering that play.
Aldmere, a guy that I really like, can run all the routes, can do all the things. A definite security blanket for Joe Francis in a very crowded New York offense. At the bottom of your screen, it's Francis under center. Jennings blown up again, and again, it's Casey Reed putting the hammer down. It's 3rd and 18.
How about this from Wichita? First down and 2nd down here on this drive have not been fruitful for the Lightning. And it's because they're just reading the play. They're getting back and they're anticipating it and getting it done. 3rd down is where they're struggled. They're sending a lot of zone blitzes that are really leaving mismatches out in coverage for New York to exploit.
Francis in the shotgun now, an empty set. 4-man rush this time from Wichita. Going to the end zone. That is caught and touchdown. Jazz Aldmere. Will it stand up on review? For now, it's a touchdown.
I think he gets both feet down. Brilliantly weighted ball from Francis to an outstretching Jazz Aldmere, who's right there. Again, they play coverage. They don't even send a blitz this time, but it's just not enough. And Aldmere and Francis extend the lead for New York.
Tremendously thrown ball by Francis. Tremendous footwork by Aldmere to not only get defeated, but to hang on to the ball as he was being wrestled by 2 guys. And now Cyrus Foster will make this a 10-point game. And Wichita, who scored the touchdown on their opening drive, have yet to manage a first down since. It's 17-7.
Aldmere's team leading 7th receiving touchdown of the season, and it's a good one. And I'm really liking New York's offense. I think they finally started clicking here, Josh. They finally got a rhythm working, and it's completely thrown Wichita for a loop. Now the Flyers, after an impressive opening drive, they've been held to nothing, and maybe this the 2-minute drill offense, which will come out here momentarily, I think is going to need to spark them because they're going to have to kick the ball to New York to begin the second half, and they don't want to be down 2 scores coming out of the halftime tunnel.
Let me give you a note on how slow starters this New York offense can be, Tyler. When they hung 31 on Salt Lake last week, they did not score at all in the first quarter. They've got 17 here as we're winding down the first half here in New York. BK Solberg, a minute 58 to save the world. Over the middle, that is caught. Delro, who's been more involved in the passing game the last couple of weeks, will gain 4 yards on the catch. 2nd and 6, clock continues to run.
Indeed, I think they will let it run here for the next 2 or 3 plays. No, they're actually back here out quickly.
56, the mic, boys, 56.
Flyers go no huddle. Delro in the backfield. Happy feet from Solberg. He's going to let it rip to the middle of the field. Into double coverage, and not a chance there for R.J. Gilmore, who by my stats is still looking for his first catch of the night.
He does have one earlier, I do believe, but here's the big thing there. I don't know if that was a push-off, no flag there, but I think you just need first downs right now, BK.
Solberg gonna fire another one off here toward the sideline. Gilmore again, and incomplete again. 11 for 16 on the night for Solberg.
Well, after taking that sack a few drives ago, looking for maybe a bigger play, now he's just trying to launch it and hope Gilmore can fight off his corner matchup, who's just too good. Portia's Bacon, she's been phenomenal tonight. And look, Gilmore had it, but she just knocks it free. Excellent reading of the play, excellent play on the ball. No flag, good defense, and she gets the ball back for her offense.
Another 3 and out for Wichita. As Kramer's going to punt this away. James will fair catch at the 33. And an encore performance here in the first half for Joe Francis on tap.
Well, here, just under a minute 20 to go, really can try and do something. You've got a 2-score lead here. 3 would be phenomenal.
They run the screen. Henson has a blocker, has another, and has the first down with just over a minute to play in the half.
No fear in this tailback. Big, beefy fullback. Not afraid to get shifty, not afraid to lay down the law as well. An excellent job here by the New York fullback.
Lightning offense closing in on 200 yards for the half. And that man, Robert Henson Jr., a significant portion of that, not only on the ground, but as we just saw, through the air as well.
Let's go. 90 Wolf.
Now less than a minute to play. Francis in the shotgun. 5 DBs on the field for Wichita. Francis will throw it again. It's caught and wrestled down to the turf in plus territory is Terrence Roll, his first catch.
I mean, that's just tough. Fighting off one defender, edging and getting closer to that first down, fighting his way forward, keeping the legs turning. New York's just coached differently. New York's just a different beast here in the UFL.
Timeout on the field. Wichita trying to pull within 3. And what has been a tremendous anchor leg of UFL Coast to Coast. So glad to have you with us. I'm Josh Zerble. Tyler Falk is joining me. Cameron Irvine running around somewhere, our fearless producer and UFL co-commissioner. Joe Francis now in a 2-back set with 43 seconds to play here in the half. 4-man rush, they'll dump it off. No regard for the clock at this point other than the timeouts. At least with regard to the play calling on the field, they have 1 left.
I can see where this is going here for New York. They're very comfortable at the moment, not trying to push the field down, not trying to air it out as much as BK Solberg was here at the last drive, and they just know that they're waiting for their play, their guys to get open.
You get the feeling they'd be thrilled to add just 3 here to make it a 13-point margin. Francis now throwing to Eden Hart, who gets into the red zone. And the clock will run, and they'll hurry it up.
They will, but again, soft zone coverage here from Wichita, and it just brings Hart free. Nothing the linebacker can do about it at the moment. And right now, New York they've been scything through defenses left, right, and center this season, and they're doing it again tonight.
Gain of 23 for Eden Hart. Tremendous encore to her, 100-yard performance last week. Francis to the end zone, into double coverage, batted away. That was Tyrone Clausen on the breakup. Second down, 12 seconds left.
Well, that's a conundrum here. Do you kick the field goal and go for the points yet? You still have 1 timeout. Looks like New York's going to try maybe another play or 2.
I love the play call. Take 1 more shot at the end zone. You just can't take a sack. And Francis, with all the time in the world, is going to escape. Running inside, turning upfield. You got to get down and call the timeout, and they do with 2 seconds left.
Francis, you can see he's not a scrambling quarterback. A little bit slower off the get from maybe the last, for those that watched the last coast-to-coast game. Zach Holdorf a bit more speedy, a bit more mobile, but Francis does enough to get the first down and set up his kicker, Cyrus Foster, for a chip shot. No, they're going to try and go here with 2 seconds to go.
For all the Tostitos, Francis in the empty set, throwing toward the sideline out of bounds. Declan James does not have enough room to turn upfield, and that is how we're going to end the first half. Wichita, who scored on their opening drive, has surrendered 17 unanswered to the New York Lightning. Tyler Falk, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I will say New York has done all but a perfect game of football after the first opening drive where they were on defense. They've held Wichita in check, but I gotta wonder if Wichita comes back in this game, will that play with 2 seconds to go in the first half, the decision to not kick the field goal, will that come back to bite the Lightning, or will Wichita be held in check like 8 other teams have been this year?
Some consolation for the Lightning. They will begin the third quarter with the football as Wichita set to kick off to their hosts after receiving the opening kickoff in this game. Joe Francis, very exciting stuff out of the typically conservative quarterback there in the last several seconds of that half. Perhaps we'll see a return to form here on this upcoming drive as Drew Duncan kicks it away. And what has been a thrilling game so far. Declan James takes the knee, and Francis will take it at the 25.
So here is what we got here for New York. They've been doing a great job getting Eden Hart involved. Only a couple catches, but the plays that she makes after the catch have been phenomenal. They're a reason why they're the defending UFL champs, because Eden Hart continues to make plays like that.
Tremendous asset, especially for a quarterback like Joe Francis, who, despite what we've seen from him tonight, does not typically go for all the Tostitos in one fell swoop. And throwing there is Henson. Henson, again, the athleticism of that giant individual just astounds me, especially for that modest gain of 5 yards.
And it just goes to show you that a very different breed of fullback is Henson. 2 guys are usually what it takes to bring him down, because he's that perfect blend of big, beefy, I'm going to run right through you, but I'm also going to try and make you miss because I have a bit more agility. Look here, 3 wide to the right here and only maybe 1 defender in the area.
Francis facing the blitz, throws it. Eden Hart again, turning upfield and approaching midfield. As Eden Hart is a very busy lady. That's her fourth catch, and she's approaching 100 yards.
So that's Wichita again. They had to shade over to the other side, and Hart just is coming across that shift, freeing herself up.
Fresh set of downs for the Lightning. Wichita blitzing again. Francis intercepted! Russ Harper shatters the dreams of this New York offense, at least for now, and Wichita will get back on the field with great field position.
And he's subscribing to the same rule of thought that his tailback Chris Delaware is holding it like a loaf of bread. I don't think he knew what to do. He picks it off and then gets confused, like he's got all this open area in front of him, but he's trying to allow his teammate to get back in front of him to block. He's just taking and run, young man. Oh my goodness, but good play on the ball. Wichita set up in plus territory. That's the kind of start that the Flyers needed to get back in this game.
Francis, who only had 6 interceptions in 10 games coming into the week, surrenders the first turnover of this game. And for the first time for either team, Wichita will start their drive in plus territory at the New York 43. Under center, Solberg. Out of time. Down he goes. Rowan Cassidy. She's your worst nightmare. That's her second sack of the game.
Eerily similar plays. Solberg, very quick, deep drop here. And he's just waiting for something to come open at that moment, and nothing's happening. I think the rest of the O-line are expecting something quick as well, but miscommunication, good coverage from New York. Call it what you want. That's a busted play for the Flyers.
Cassidy and this New York pass rush influencing Solberg in the pocket, and now they go to the 2-back set as D. Collins, the fullback, checks in. They run motion. 2 on the play clock. Can they get the play off? They do. Handoff. Pollard, nowhere to go. And this New York defense only getting stingier here, 3rd and a country mile.
Yeah, they've only allowed, well, now less than that, 91 yards of total offense at the time of the stat coming in. And it's just been tough sledding for Wichita.
They blitz, throwing it deep. Solberg overthrowing Timothy Shea. And that is another 3 and out, Tyler, for this Wichita Flyers offense.
Well, I don't think it would have been a 3 and out had that first down not gone so bad. You don't really draw up a play to get 20 yards or 17 yards back in 1 or 2 plays. It's very tough to get that done. And credit New York and Rowan Cassidy getting back quickly on the first play after giving up the interception. They get back on defense. They put them on the other side of midfield, and now they force a punt.
Blake Kramer will try and pin him deep. And that is a fine effort right there, getting it inside the 10, down to the 8. And that's where New York will take over. How about a read here? UFLshop.com, stocked with the best tees, sweatshirts, flags, and more. And now ships internationally to 27 different countries around the world. Good news for you, you probably only live in one country. It's a Printful partnership, UFLshop.com. And then, Tyler, I'm still hoping Cam will buy me something from UFLshop.com. I'm reluctant to spend my own money.
Well, here's the thing. He didn't even buy his own brother-in-law thing as we get a good little run to get the drive going. Good run from Dimitri. No, check that. Jupiter Jennings, my apologies. But he didn't even buy my own stuff. I had to go and buy my own Minnesota Chipper swag. So I got 2 nice little T-shirts that will probably be eventually used as burp rags for my young daughter here soon.
So it goes. But I bet they're nice and velvety on, at least for the time being.
Oh, they are. They are phenomenal. Excellent quality. I am not at all unhappy with my Printful partnership shirts.
Oh, Francis. Looking for something velvety on this play. Hit as he throws. And that is caught. Eden Hart making chicken salad out of that play. Finishing with positive yardage, 2nd and 4.
I mean, this Lightning team, all they know is to go forward. They try and get upfield quick. They try and bully their ways forward here. 2nd and medium here.
Francis, 4-man rush. Hart again. And Hart, who hit 100 yards, receiving even on that play, adds to her total, making 101 on 6 catches. 3rd and 4.
30 base.
How about a bunch set this time to Francis's left? Henson in the backfield. Here comes the blitz. They try the screen again, but no doing. Harper do, says Harper don't. And Lightning will have to punt.
My goodness. Wichita's defense is not ready to lay down and die yet. They were beat up, sure, in that 2nd quarter, giving up 14 points. But coming out of the tunnel here to begin this 3rd quarter, they are not playing any games. They are all over this Lightning offense.
Talk a lot about Joshua Durr for this Wichita defense, and for very good reason, but Harper too, stealing all the headlines so far this evening, as Delroy will fair catch at his own 27. And the Flyers, who by my record keeping have not earned a first down, it's their opening drive, will take the field again.
56. Strip the ball. Strip that ball.
Stolberg in the shotgun now. Delroy on the draw. Delroy hammered down. Michaela Foraker, who had an otherwise quiet evening up to this point, makes the stop. A TFL, 2nd and 13.
I mean, they're all over the misdirection. They're all over the first read, which is the outside. And as they cut it back inside, Foraker just breaks past the old lineman there to get in the backfield. New York all over the run.
A bunch set, and New York is going to give up 5 yards. Rare mental lapse there from the Lightning.
Wow, I mean, it was 3rd and 17 last drive. It's already 2nd and 18 here.
Delroy around the end, out to the 23. Rush number 10 on the evening for Delroy. You see the numbers there.
Man, this is just getting tough right now for Wichita. Going backward and having to dig themselves out of holes here on the drives. Not what you want here out of your offense.
New York blitz. Solberg will let it rip into double coverage. Darian Adkins cannot bring it in. And for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, 6th time tonight, consecutively, Wichita will punt.
Surely there had to be somebody else open. In fact, Delroy was open on an underneath route. I know you need a big chunk of yards here, but when they're playing mad coverage downfield and they're sending more guys that you have receivers out in the pattern, there is somebody wide open, especially in that type of scenario, who can make a play out of that rather than having Solberg trying to force it in where the coverage is just too great. These New York corners are just too strong against these Wichita wideouts.
And their efforts to give the ball to Delro for variety on the run are coming up empty. Declan James will get this ball into plus territory. New York's going to like starting on Wichita's side of the field for the first time tonight.
So this is what New York is really setting themselves up for. And the first 2 drives for them out of this half have not been good ones. The defense for the Flyers has been all over to begin the half. We'll see whether or not that changes here.
Play action. Francis looking deep again. This going to the end zone. Just over the head of Jazz Altmaier. He was double covered. And it'll be 2nd and 10. Francis looking for the kill shot here in New York.
I mean, it's just a bit too much air in the football. I think Altmaier might have had a play on it if it just didn't have enough heat.
Bunch set with Henson in the backfield. They find Eden Hart. Hart to the 45, down to the 42. Gonna be 3rd and 6. Eden Hart, a very busy lady, her 7th catch.
Yeah, 2 broken tackles with finally being shoved out of bounds by the 3rd. That's just tough. Safety's coming up. Look for a blitz here from Wichita.
Eden Hart equals her catch total from a week ago. Here comes the blitz. They dump it off to Eden Hart, catch number 8 this time. Harper Dew is going to hold her up from the line. And this time it's the Lightning who will have a 3-and-out.
I mean, it's a good play call from New York to just try and get something out of a quick hitter. Maybe the Texas route was open on the left side, but Wichita's defense, 3 drives in this second half, and they have looked the part tonight, keeping it to a 2-score lead only for New York and giving their offense opportunity after opportunity to try and figure something out.
Very well said. Brandon Piner is going to pop this up. Can they down it inside the 5? They cannot. And Wichita gets a little bit of a break there as this ball will come out to the 20.
If I'm BK Solberg and this Wichita offense, first down has got to go forward. Last 2 drives have started with negative plays on first down. At least if they go forward here, that's positive, and that is the good progress.
Delro, again blown up in the backfield, and again it's Quamaine Harrison, who's making as good a debut as you could hope for on the defensive side of the ball. I think that is his 5th tackle tonight.
I'll at least take no gain here for Wichita, but now got to go forward again.
Delro again gets the seam to the 25, to the 27. And I like the idea of just pounding the rock here and making New York play against the run.
And here is a much better 3rd down opportunity here for Wichita. Last 2 have been 10+ yards.
Very manageable. Solberg will throw on the slant. That is caught. Darian Adkins this time hangs on. And for the first time since their opening drive, Wichita moves the chains.
And that is what you can do when you don't have to go 17, 18 yards on 3rd down. A very quick, a lot more plays open up in the playbook for the Flyers, and they're able just to hit a quick slant route because I think New York already was guessing they're going to go deep again. But Atkins says, I'm just going to plant my feet after 2 yards, cut inside, and hope the ball finds me when I look to my quarterback.
Bunch set this time for Wichita. Delro in the backfield by his lonesome. Gets the call again. This time stopped behind the line. That is Voorhees Jordan with the TFL.
It's only a yard, but it's forward. So good first down play that results in positive yardage. And now an opportunity for them to set up 2nd down again.
Solberg with a quail over the middle, and now 3rd and 9. And just like you said, Tyler, a lot of yardage to get here on just one play.
Quail, wounded pheasant. Looked like the pheasant I hit on my way back from college.
Any kind of bird game there would be acceptable. Lightning blitz. Solberg is going to let one rip up in the air into double coverage, and again, incomplete. And again, R.J. Gilmore, who does not have a catch tonight, comes up empty, and Wichita will punt.
New York is ready for these deep routes, and it shows here, third consecutive drive where it ends on a deep shot against one-on-one coverage. McClain this time is going to be the one to eventually knock it free. Gilmore does an excellent job. He has the ball again, and he just can't haul it in because it's not inside his own numbers. And that's just a tough play for any wide receiver.
Orrin McClain had an interception last week. That play almost as good as an interception because New York is getting the ball back. Kramer punts it away. James up the middle, out to the 26, let's call it. And the Joe Francis show is back on the air.
You can see his numbers here. Not a whole lot of yards here in the second half. It's because this Wichita defense has been very good, but he still has been consistent throwing the football.
Jennings in the backfield. He gets the call. He gets taken down. Harper Dew, with no regard for human life, brings Jennings down in his own backfield.
Well, I think I know what Wichita's motivation is to really play tough and maybe get this win. It would be a massive win. They got to keep in front of Chicago and Miami, and they still got to try and keep up with Dallas and St. Louis, who are just ahead of them here in the Great East. They're only a game behind them, and this win could keep them here in the top four with a whole playoff game later in the season.
Jennings again breaks a tackle, but cannot break the second. That's Donovan Holland who finally brings him down. And to that point, Tyler, Wichita has had success against the teams that you would suppose they could beat. Their losses against the UFL elite, LA, Dallas, and Dakota. Looking to get one off their back here as Francis throws over the middle. That is caught. Declan James with a monster gain into Wichita territory.
Well, I know it is 3rd and 9. I know you're playing 10 yards off the line, but you can't leave guys wide open behind you. I mean, it's just a paramount there. They're playing the sticks. They're playing the first down, but Francis and company are seeing the bigger picture here, seeing yards beyond them. They have the game plan to do it, and they're torching the Wichita defense in that type of scenario.
This Wichita defense has been on the field quite a bit tonight. Not uncommon for this New York offense that loves to churn clock. Mark Anthony, the intended receiver, in and out of the hands. That'll be second down. And you got to wonder, as we're closing out the third quarter here, Tyler, fatigue has to be a factor for these Flyers as we head to the fourth.
I don't think they can really keep up with the Lightning if they continue to have to be on the field. But this front seven is still finding ways in the backfield. Good play on the ball carrier by Casey Reed, getting around the edge and getting to Jennings rather quickly. And they're showing, even though we might think they might be getting tired, Casey's like, not yet. We still have a good run rush.
Third tackle for loss for KC Reed. Harper Dew sitting on 4 tackles for loss. Joe Francis needs 11 yards here. Well outside of field goal range. 4-man rush. And down he goes! Brendan Bell, is that the first sack of the game for this Wichita defense as we close out the third quarter? May I have some 4s in chat, please? We got a barn burner here in the Big Apple. Wichita looking to knock off the New York Lightning. They trail by 10, but they're getting the ball back. I'm Josh Thurgle. He's Tyler Falk. Cameron Irvine producing. And we need this Wichita offense to start producing if they want to close this game to within a score.
That they do, but quickly back to the Wichita defense. I was just going to say, this 4-man rush has been really good on the run, but really not having any success against the pass up until that play. Bell finds a way to get the job done, and now this Flyer offense has another gift horse that they cannot look in the mouth.
Solberg on the clear out. It's Dwayne Knight. Knight has 3 touchdowns on the season. Gets 9 yards there on that play.
That's a good start. They were running the football to begin a bunch of their drives here up to this point, and now realizing they're down by 10 in the final quarter regulation, they know they have to get on the move.
Solberg over the middle. That is caught. Delrow catches a bullet pass. You see the numbers there for Solberg. Just barely over 100 yards for the game. as this Lightning defense has kept him largely in check.
And that they have, and now we're going to see more. We saw a lot of deep shots on third downs the last quarter, and now they're changing it up, a lot more medium routes.
The clock's still very much their friend at this point. Solberg with time, under pressure, and finally throws it away. My goodness. Second down.
They teach you 3 seconds when you play quarterback. 3 seconds is not there. You got to do something with it. Just too much time. He's already taken 2 sacks on similar plays. He's lucky Foraker didn't take him down there.
And now second down. Solberg, very quick release that time, trying to find, I believe that's Gilmore. RJ Gilmore, probably 5 or 6 targets on the game, is still looking for his first catch. Third down.
I mean, it's just tough when the other team knows that you're one of your quarterback's favorite targets and you're just being shut out.
Solberg going for it all here down the left side. They get a flag. Gilmore interfered with, and there's the call.
I know you're burned, Bacon. I know it's just a big go route, but they've been winning that battle tonight. There's no need for the extra hands there.
Gets them to the 17, and Solberg still looking for a completion. That will be incomplete.
Solberg went 7 of 7 to begin the game, and now he looks a little unsteady, not being able to connect with receivers even in these short patterns.
Solberg, this is as close as he's been to the end zone since the opening drive. Delro down to the 12. And you've got to think that the Flyers need to come away with points here on 3rd and 6, Tyler.
I think so, whether or not it's a field goal or a touchdown. So no poor decisions here, and you can't air it out.
Solberg in the hands, that's intercepted. Picked off. Bjorn McLean will take this all the way down Broadway. It's a lightning pick 6.
Well, we did say Wichita needed points, and there was a touchdown, but it's not for Wichita, so that is a poor decision. I don't know what BK was looking at there. I don't think he saw McLean, but there was no way that ball should have been thrown. Solberg is a much better player than that, and that's just a gift for New York, and they're going to take it. And now Wichita, who were only down by 2 scores, now have a much deeper hole to dig themselves out of.
Iris Foster nails the extra point. And to that end, Tyler, all those receivers running to the end zone, and so McLean, recovering that ball at his own 12, had virtually no one to beat, and scampered 88 yards to the land of milk and honey to give his team what seems like what might be an insurmountable lead now for Wichita.
Well, 3 scores. Still, I think there's still plenty of time, but Wichita's going to have to play some really good football and some mistake-free football from the quarterback, because this defense, Wichita's defense, has done a great job tonight holding New York to 17 points. The offense, since the first drive, have looked well out of sorts, out of rhythm, out of touch, and they need to get back on the same page right here, right now, if they want to get back in this game.
That was Blair Jamar that ran it out of the end zone. Out to the 23, first touch of the night. By my count for Jamar, out to the 21, excuse me, where Solberg will take over. Low snap, they handle it. That is Pollard. And Pollard will scamper up the middle for a promising gain, second down.
So a draw, okay, so it's positive. It's actually their best first down play of the half, resulting in 7 yards. And now, rightfully so, they're in the hurry up. They got some time and they got some points to make up.
Play action, Solberg finds a receiver on the seam and can't bring it in. Tremendous pass broken up by Porsche's Bacon to make it 3rd and 3.
And after the last drive where he got tagged for that PI, he does well to stay with the receiver and gets the ball as it arrives to the wide receiver.
On the draw, Delro, nowhere to go. Carlos Berry, first on the scene, and it's another 3 and out for Wichita.
You know, I'll give Wichita an A for effort here on trying to be, a little bit ingenious here after the draw on first down. Surely they're not going to run yet another draw here for maybe a first down on third down, but New York's all over it, and they have to go for it, even deep in their own territory.
4th and 4, gotta have it. Solberg will throw here. And finally, RJ Gilmore makes the catch and moves the chains for Wichita.
That is finally a confidence boost, as you mentioned, for Gilmore, finally fighting off the defender for the catch.
Second 4th down conversion of the game for Wichita. They scored a touchdown after their first. Solberg with another completion this time. Clock continues to run. The timepiece, most certainly not their friend at this point, 2nd and 6. Solberg again, 4-man rush to the sideline, well over the head of Timothy Shea. And it's, as you said, Tyler, not a lot of rhythm between Solberg and his very deep, diverse receiving corps.
Yeah, I mean, the stadium is just so loud, and it's a very intimidating place to play, especially when New York is on a roll.
3rd and 6. Solberg looking for Delro, nearly picked off by Kane Vasquez, who was on the scene. And will we see another 4th down attempt here?
And he's just step for step here as we take a look. Yeah, he's behind it, but he does get his long arm out there, one of the largest wingspans we have here in the UFL. And I don't think it was actually intended for Delro. That might have been actually to the tight end for Wichita, but now we got to go again.
4th and 6, why not? Here comes the blitz. Solberg lets it rip. That is caught. JaMychal Morris this time does make the catch. And gets his team into New York territory. They're not dead yet.
3rd, 4th down conversion of the game, or I think we might be nearing a UFL record here. I wonder what that is. I wonder if Wichita might be going for it here.
Solberg one more time. Throws toward the sideline, caught. And you have to question the value of those short yardage completions at this point in the game, Tyler.
I mean, right now, as you say, taking off more than a minute and a half off the clock here with a couple of stop and starts for incomplete passes. But, I mean, you need 3 scores here. You got to get down the field and get down the field quickly.
Solberg to the sideline again. Again, looking for Knight, this time incomplete. And now 3rd and 9, excuse me. Clock stops with 7:09 to play.
Well, you want to keep converting on 4th downs. Don't need a first down here, but you need to keep possession.
Multiple tight end set, and now Delro in motion to go wide, leaving Solberg empty. Solberg caught to the 10, and Wichita very close to a 1st and goal. They'll call it 1st and 10. Darian Adkins with the catch.
And he has been the star for Wichita's offense tonight in the receiving game. He has been Mr. Reliable for BK.
Solberg again, clock continues to run. But that is Adkins one more time. And now 2nd and 5, 6:38 to play.
All right, if I'm Solberg, I'm shaking off the rust from the last drive, keeping it well out of the back of my mind, looking for an open receiver here.
Solberg staying in the shotgun. To the end zone, where his feet in bounds, they say no. Darian Adkins comfortably into the white, 3rd and 5.
Man, I mean, that's a good play call, but you gotta have that 6th sense of where you are on the field at all times. That could have been a way back into this game.
Monster 3rd down here for the Flyers. Solberg to the end zone again, and touchdown! This was a Darian Adkins drive all the way, his first receiving touchdown of the game.
Wow, what a throw in a picture-perfect spot. We've had all the different kinds of misses from BK Solberg today, but that one is the one that Solberg's going to be looking for. Look how tight this is. Receiver gets cut, or the cornerback gets cut off by the crossing tight end, which delays it enough for Atkins to get open at the perfect time for Solberg here.
Darian Atkins doubles his touchdown total on the season. That is his 2nd. And as Duncan makes the extra point, we are back to a 2-score game with 6:22 to play. And Tyler, this one is absolutely worth the price of admission.
I would absolutely agree. So it didn't look like it for a while in the middle part when New York was containing Wichita, but the defense for the Flyers has really changed the momentum here in the second half, and now they've set themselves up here for maybe a little bit of a comeback. They're going to have to play tight on defense again. I think Wichita is going to kick it here. I don't think they'll try and go for an onside kick. I think there's too much time on the clock left. And so the Flyers are going to really have to play good defense here again here in the second half.
Plenty of time, and then, of course, Wichita with all 3 of their timeouts. And their defense has been playing outstanding, no doubt about that. James will kneel at the end zone, and they'll take it at the 25.
So find New York. I've got to get a couple first downs here. I've got to be able to rely on my offense. So we got to get Henson, we got to get Jennings, and we've got to be able to push. And now they're throwing another wrinkle. Only 5 linemen in a spread look.
And there's Henson, who brings a tackle upfield to the 40. And just like that, Robert Henson Jr. has a first down as he closes in on 50 yards rushing.
Shades of the first drive of the game with that run. Only a broken tackle, and he's just like Steamboat Willie coming down the river. He's just so tough to bring down. And Wichita is just grateful for the last gas tackle after 15 yards.
Esteem, that is a scary looking dude to bring down in any scenario. And now Francis will keep the clock running. And Henson will stay in the game. Bunch set to Francis's right. Henson one more time. Henson the midfield. And they're going to give Henson another first down as he passes 50 yards rushing.
Wow, it's tough. And now they're introducing a little bit of misdirection. Wichita was trying to get it going early in the game, but their misdirection counter runs. And now with Henson on the counter near side, they overload one side so that forces the defense to overplay that side. Just a brilliant play call, brilliant design play.
Jupiter Jennings, who's not gotten a lot of volume tonight, is back in the game. Jennings will run for positive yardage. You see the numbers there. Carry number 11 for the halfback, and now 2nd and 6.
Now it's getting tough. After Wichita were doing so well on the ground here in the third quarter, now it seems the floodgates are beginning to open.
Jennings one more time. Breaks the tackle, and it's pushed over the line to gain, that time by KC Reed. They're going to mark him short, Tyler, 3rd and inches.
Oh, this is tough. If I'm Wichita right now, I am selling out on the run because it is tough. And look, they've got only 7, maybe 6 guys in the box against this goal line set.
Henson arrows over the line for the first down.
Man, oh man, I just don't know. I just don't know if I'm Wichita. If I'm seeing that, I'm thinking the defensive coordinator is trying to get the head coach of the line saying, hey, we gotta get more guys in the box. They're just gonna bully us here. That's exactly what New York does. I was expecting more of a QB dive or maybe even a tush push, but that was too easy for New York.
Not a lot of fanciness on this drive as Tarver made that tackle on his back. Jennings this time with a head of steam. And Jupiter Jennings scampers into the red zone for New York.
Not a single pass on this drive, and it does seem, we were talking whether or not Wichita would get a little bit drained, get a little bit tired on defense, and the New York Lightning are running them into the ground.
And just as you wear out Jupiter Jennings, Robert Henson Jr. checks back in. 3 receivers to Francis's left. Henson's going to go out on a route and make a catch. And corralled at the 11. Might have been a face mask there. No flag. Joshua Durr on the tackle. 4th catch for Henson.
Crucially, he stays in bounds, and Wichita not calling a timeout yet, as New York might be able to run this down to the 2-minute warning and really make a comeback that much more difficult.
Henson and Jennings both in the backfield. Jennings will take the play action. It'll be Francis throwing to the end zone, looking for it, and it's a touchdown. Eden Hart, her 2nd score of the game.
There is just too much space for Hart. 5 yards at least between her and the next closest defender. You don't have a whole lot of field to work with on defense. There should be no open receivers when it's this close to the goal line. You've got to be able to contain the zones there, and I think that is pretty much the cherry on top. Eden Hart, second touchdown grab of the night, pretty much does it for the Lightning as they will march on to their 9th win of the season.
Touchdown number 6 on the season for Eden Hart in a game that really just gets blown open here in the second half, the fourth quarter especially. On the Bjorn McClain interception, returned 88 yards for a touchdown. Darian Adkins scored to make it 24-14, and now Eden Hart with perhaps the dagger to make it 31-14 with just over 2:07. And Tyler, I would have a very difficult time picking out a player of the game. We've seen a lot of outstanding performances from both teams tonight.
I'd say I'd have to give it to the quarterback, Joe Francis, who has done a phenomenal job of spreading the ball around, being consistent. Only 1 interception and a bunch of touchdowns here tonight. But I think the player of the game for me has got to be Joe Francis.
I'm very impressed with the play of Eden Hart, who has, if I have this tallied correctly, 8 catches for over 100 yards. That's her second consecutive game reaching the 100-yard plateau. In every game, every catch was significant, to say nothing of the 2 that she made in the end zone. We're going to wind this down, and I think we've seen something from Wichita. They certainly can make plays against the Lightning, Tyler, but it might be a ways before they're able to compete against a team like this for 4 quarters.
You know, they always say you learn a lot more from your losses than your wins, and Wichita has lost, as you have expertly put it, against the elite here in the UFL. So they'll have a lot of tape against these teams coming into the postseason. As another good pass here. That's one of the passes they probably need a lot more tonight. Not those deep passes down the far sidelines that were broken up by these expert corners for New York. And it might just be a little bit too late.
That was catch number 4 for R.J. Gilmore tonight. We could have missed a couple there at some place. And Solberg continuing to deal as we run out the clock. And I certainly do not believe by any stretch we've seen the last of Wichita. This is a tremendous team. And as you look through the schedule, Tyler, they've got a lot of chicken left on that bone in facing some of those so-called elite teams, as we have another interception from New York. That's Antonio Dawson.
I mean, that's pretty much been Solberg's night. Errant throws, ill-advised throws after what looked to be a very good start for BK. He's just been out of whack after that 1 sack that he took early on in the game, and he's just not been able to really find himself afterwards. It's unfortunate for Wichita that they've just not really collapsed, but just not been, I don't think, up to their full potential here tonight. They'll take it, and they're going to take this one on the chin, and as they look in for their next couple games, they'll be back at home, so maybe the friendly confines will help out. They'll play the other winner of today's Coast to Coast, San Diego, in Wichita next week on the gauntlet, followed by Dallas, and then they're gonna head to Texas to take on Austin.
That's Antonio Dawson's second interception of the season, as Jennings will round out his day with a couple of runs to stop the clock. Tyler, always a pleasure to call a game with you, and grateful to Cam for the chance to reach out to the folks. Congratulations to the New York Lightning. Certainly one of the creme de la creme in terms of what we're seeing from this 16-team iteration of this season's UFL. And again, Wichita, though falling to 6-5, still has a lot of opportunity in front of them, and I'm certain we have not heard the last of BK Solberg and company.
No, and this team was one of the better teams last season here in the UFL, and so it's not a stretch to say that Wichita has had some ups and had some downs here this season, but I think they're going to take a hard look at themselves. in the locker room this week and decide what type of adjustments are we going to have to make so that we come out and play toe-to-toe with the best of the best come playoff time.
And that is the final gun. Congratulations to the New York Lightning. Final score, Lightning 31, Wichita Flyers 14. Just a tremendous effort from that New York defense. Tyler Falk, any final thoughts on the game?
Well, I got Josh is good job from New York. They get it done again. We were expecting more of a second half team, and indeed that defense does come up with a couple of big plays, that pick six and a pick to end it. Phenomenal job for the Lightning. Wichita's got some work to do, but they should be back, and they'll be a dangerous team in the playoffs. New York, they're one of the best teams in the league, and tonight showed us why.
Want to remind everybody, UFL action continues right here tomorrow night on the Virtual Football Network as Los Angeles battles Dakota. That's a game you do not want to miss, I promise you. For Cameron Irvine, for Tyler Falk, I'm Josh Circle. Thank you for joining us. Until tomorrow night, we will see you on the internet. Congratulations to the New York Lightning.